Hey, it's Pete.
It's Mark.
And what are we discussing today, Mark?
Kong.
Okay. We just had a big debate on
what it's called.
What the movie is.
Is it King
we
Kong?
know everything about the movie, except for the title.
Right, we're not sure. We know that everyone is in it and not in it.
Well, here we go. Episode 22, Dream Warriors.
Dream Warriors.
Let's hit it. And we're back. We're here.
Doing it live.
Yeah, that's
I'll write it and
that
we'll
was,
do it live.
That was live music for us. Live music for the two of
It's a
us.
Saturday. It's a midday record.
Yeah, midday. It was. I love how this came together. Last night you texted me right when I was sitting down to watch the movie. So we kind of watched the movie somewhat same time.
At the same time.
Same time, separate states.
Like a fivel, somewhere out there. Like we're under the same moonlight, watching the same movie.
Oh, is that?
It's that romantic.
This is a five-0 goes west.
It's a five-0 goes Jersey versus Philadelphia. Where'd you say it?
We have a 5-0. I saw it on Columbus Boulevard in Philadelphia. Yeah, that's the theater that everyone growls at. I've seen a good chunk of movies there at all times, during the day, early day, late at night.
It's just the weirdest crowd. The crowd's always bizarre. So.
I never had a bad crowd there.
Really?
That's what I was getting at. And now they have like a kitchen, which is awesome because there's no kitchen, but food comes out of a door. So yeah, there's no kitchen, but you can get like chicken fingers, but there's no kitchen. Like I don't know where the kitchen is. I don't see it. Like the one door swings open and you see like paper towels and stuff, but food comes out of there, and you can order like cheeseburgers.
I can't really fathom it. I don't know.
So they've upgraded.
Well, Cinemark's doing all assigned seating.
Yeah, so
it's
you were talking about that before.
Yeah, it's pretty. I mean, they're only half open, so I mean, it's pretty good because then a bunch of us like never have to show up like exactly on time, get in line, and piss off at that when the person show up late or I can't hold your seat and all that.
Yeah,
shit.
I think, but you know what? I still think like, come on, how hard is it to hold someone's seat? It's not hard at all.
It's not.
Like I think everyone loses a seat at one time for someone,
right?
And then that's the lesson learned,
right?
If it becomes a reoccurring thing, all right. Number one, I do never hold seats. You're out of any seat holding privileges.
I think we had a thing where like I'm not holding your seat.
Yeah,
I was like I'm gonna be late. You're like doesn't matter.
Yeah,
you fucking sit up front. I don't care. I don't give a shit. And I'm like I'll see you later.
How about I say so? Here's the one thing I noticed in Philadelphia theaters versus Jersey is that for this one theater now for some reason people come in and there's plenty of seating, even seating to where if you want to sit next to a complete stranger but it's a good seat, okay, they will forego that and choose to sit in the front. They actively pick to sit in the front. What is that?
Because they can't bring themselves to sit next to someone.
What is that about?
I don't know.
It's the weirdest thing.
It's the weird.
I'll tell you what. I had this guy that sat next to me. Like it was an older couple. Okay, dude. When Samuel Jackson did something, I think it was like while the
hold on to your butts.
Yeah, while the spider was attacking, and kind of like anyone that saw the trailer knows there's a giant spider sequence. Right, which kind of goes back to original Kong, to 33
I think they
Kong.
couldn't do it? Is that the thing? They couldn't do it in the original?
Yeah, and then Peter Jackson, they reanimated it.
Yeah, but they were all weird-looking bug things.
Yeah. No. They went back to the original footage.
Okay.
There was only one still that they found, and I think they were able to get the script. And they, for the special edition of the Kong, the King Kong released at 05,
even
04,
longer.
05.
They made an extended cut.
Yeah, they used original materials like camera and everything, original techniques, and they added that they made that scene. They didn't cut it into the Kong movie, but they made that spider scene.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, with stop and go animation, like spider and like everything, like rear projection Like they used the old techniques to make that scene in Kong that got cut in 1933. But anyway, so you have that spider attack, and dude, this black dude next to me, dude, funniest thing, he goes, but Sam Jackson had one line, and he goes, "What's in your wallet?"
Is he the most quotable? He might be the most quotable.
I never heard a commercial get quoted in a movie by the guy in the commercial. What's in your wallet, dude? I lost it. By the end of that movie, that dude and I, we were like best free. I was giving him my chicken fingers, letting me eat some of my popcorn. I was like, I didn't even care, dude. That dude had me like cracking up. So, but yeah, so we're here to talk King Kong. We're not even sure what the title of this movie is.
Kong, I don't know.
I think it's Kong Skull Island.
Set up for more films.
We never had to look up a title of a movie before.
Kong set up for more films.
Loki
versus
everyone. It's really weird. Okay, showtime for Kong Skull Island.
Okay.
Kong. Now I'm saying Kong.
He is I think he's the top. Well, I don't know if they have him. Like they have him almost top billed. I think there was something where Samuel L. Jackson said that I'm fine with him being top billed.
Yeah.
Like that's what he's saying. He's saying that's.
Yeah. Wow. Did you know the budget for this movie?
With all the actors, I don't know, 160?
185.
All right.
That. So, and we all know where it is at the box office, right? We don't know what it did on Thursday. So let's just look that up. All right.
We don't really do ratings, but like, what's your like gut? A, B, C, D, F. Like, what do you got?
It's a solid B.
Yeah, I have a C plus, but it's me. I hate it.
Yeah, I
everything.
For me, it's a solid B because it's still it's a little bit of my argument for the Transformer movies where it's coherent. There's no
Transformer movies are coherent. I didn't know that.
Yes, very much coherent. There's no point that you don't know what's at stake. There's no point that you don't know what they're trying to do and achieve. So the movie doesn't lose you. It doesn't meander. Yeah. It stays. And look.
It's pretty consistent. Yeah, it does move. It doesn't really lag.
Yeah. And
there's one sequence I don't like. But that's pretty.
That's tough to do. Mm-hmm. It sounds easy, but it's harder to do than I think the movie going audience realizes. But to me, it's a solid B. Now here's the thing though, like it's a chasm between grade B and A for me. Mm-hmm. Like to me, like most movies that are like no, like I would even get Pacific Rim like solid B, Tron Legacy solid B. Mm-hmm. Okay, like these are the movies I put into that category.
Well, where's Force Awakens? Where do you put like your Force Awakens?
I give that movie an A because I think it's the only Star Wars movie that they've made. It's the only one. Okay, right.
What does that mean?
Okay, so Mark's eyes just rolled to the heavens to sort that.
What's the time code on this? I'm curious. Every time we record, how quickly do we get to a Star Wars
8
reference?
minutes.
8 minutes.
Yeah.
Like we're not going to talk about Star Wars is never on any of my sheets. I mean, except on the rope, except on episode 10. But like. It doesn't take long.
So every
day.
Here's the thing: if we ever have any issue with the name for this podcast, I will aggressively change it to Star Warriors.
8 minutes to Star Warriors. Countdown to Star Warriors.
Okay, so let's just go through the Star Wars movies. Bang! What do you get? You get Star Wars. 77 comes out.
All right, wait. Let's go back to your original statement. Your original statement was.
Force
That's
Awakens
the only Star Wars movie?
Is the only Star Wars movie.
I don't...
Okay, so it's a little bit...
It's going to be another war.
It's a little bit of my Rocky IV take. Okay, so when people have not seen the Rocky movie, they've never seen the Rocky movie. Okay, and I've watched Rocky 1 through 5 with multiple people. Like, I've
watched 5?
I've seen... Yeah, because, they got to do... It's a Superman Returns. Like, you got to do something. You got... And... We want to fight in the ring. He fights in the ring every single time. Street fight. Right. Okay. Let's just deal with that. But so here's the thing. So when people imagine Rocky movies that have not engaged themselves in like a Rocky movie, they imagine Rocky IV. They imagine bravado, machoism, like really long like head punch fights. They in no way do they imagine Rocky. They don't imagine Rocky. They don't imagine a guy who is part retard, okay, who can barely make a sentence, that is barely surviving, okay, and and essentially someone that loses. He loses, and his whole his whole everything that brings him up against Apollo on Apollo's side is it's almost like a pity fuck. Like they're throwing him a bone, and they're doing it to crank up Apollo. He didn't even like earn that position.
Right.
So it's all these things that you never seen you never thought Rocky was about. So you don't get to a Rocky movie until you hit Rocky 4. Mm-hmm. Okay? No one wants to see Rocky battling fame and fortune and going broke. No. Rocky 4 in people's imagination is Rocky. Mm-hmm. Okay. Force Awakens. What are these aspects of Star Wars that people droids, humor, okay? They want mythology, okay? They
legacy.
Yeah, and legacy. So so here's the things. Force Awakens is the only movie that really strikes that. Okay? So we go to Star Wars. We go to New Hope. Whatever you want to call it. I still call it Star Wars.
Yes.
I call New Hope Star Wars. I'm crazy. Okay?
Yeah.
I call it Star Wars. So
I'm crazy. Call me crazy. Yeah. Well, they didn't put the episode 4 on it on the initial run anyway.
I think special edition. No?
They had a re-release before
Laserdisc. Wasn't
No, they put the episode 4 I think before Empire came out when it re-released back in theaters.
Was it really Empire? Because I remember seeing return advertisements where it's still Star Wars Empire.
No, I mean on the crawl. I was talking about
on the crawl. Okay, yeah. Maybe
because I think later it's like cool. It's like, oh, it's the New Hope. No, it's not. Like you're right. It is. Yeah, you can't say Rocky 1. That's like saying like episode 4 is Rocky 1. There's no Rocky 1. It's Rocky. Like it's not like, hey, you see Rocky 1? No, it's there's no Rocky 1.
There's like the Roman numeral.
Like, hey, you go to World War 1. It wasn't called World War 1 then. You know what I mean? Like now it's been rebranded, but at the time they were like it was the Great War. You know what I mean? They weren't like
the war to end all wars.
Right.
Okay. So. And look, and we're going to discuss history later too. Sorry, everyone. We will discuss history. The World War I essentially goes right into WW2. Okay, it's I think I'm just going from memory here. It's like a 20 year period. Mm-hmm. Okay, and there was still turmoil and armistices and peace treaties all like on the path of being violated during that time anyway. Mm. So it was just like But anyway, so okay, so we have a couple mythology references. Throwaway references in Star Wars. Okay, but essentially Star Wars is like we're on desert planet and we have a boy that's a crybaby and he don't know what to do. He's a monkey trying to F a football, quoting Rainy Quaid in Days of Thunder. Okay? And that's a great movie, but not really Star Wars. Okay, then we have Empire, which is just like it's like I don't know why people say that's like a bleak ending or like an undefinitive ending. Like why is that a undefinitive ending?
Well, it's not undefinitive. It's just that there's never been an ending where like it's just complete chaos. It's like, here's Han Solo, you follow me, he's the rogue hero. He's frozen and taken. Mm-hmm. Luke gets his hand cut off. Yeah. Found out Vader's his father.
Or maybe, yeah. Well, at that point, maybe it's still a maybe.
There's. What do you mean maybe?
Well, no, you didn't know it was.
Well, he doesn't. Yeah, he says it, and then he falls.
Yeah, but they play it up though. But they play it up in the next one, in Return, where they're like, "Is it true? Is he my father?" It's like you're like, "Whoa!" Like 10 years went by.
You got he started wearing his clothing though. He's all wearing dark and shit, what I mean? Like what my dad wears. He wears all black. It's cool.
What if they were like, he's not your father? Would Luke just at that point just be like, at that point be like, all right, like I'm the biggest idiot. I really thought when he said he was the guy who's murdered millions of people. I thought when he told me he was my father, I thought why would I think someone would lie to me? Yeah. Why would I think a supervillain would lie?
Well, that's what's interesting is that the chronology for episode 8 when it comes out is like minutes. The minute after episode 7.
Right, yes.
Like they're not doing 3 months, 6 months, 3 years.
Yeah.
It's like the minute. It's like the same scene. It's opening on that scene.
I think
is interesting.
They did that with the James Bond movies. Like, like Quantum of Solace ends right after.
Right.
And I don't know, man. I loved it. I thought that.
No, yeah.
It's like Karate Kid 2.
Well,
they Karate Kid 2 the Star Wars movies.
I guess without a
remember
Peter Cetera
it ends post tournament,
right?
And then Mr. Miyagi fights the sensei from the evil Karate Kids.
What's today? I think the Karate Kid. I think all of them right now are in Cherry Hill.
What? Oh, it's like Monstermania?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Ralph Macchio's there.
Dude,
I think
I have Norm at Monstermania. We're going to record a recap. He's taking all notes.
Okay.
So yeah, we're doing a Monstermania
right now.
recap. Yeah, and the reason why we're doing that is because our second episode we had the Monstermania discussion. I kind of want to maintain that, and it's a part of local like lore and tradition. I've been to maybe one, maybe the first or second one.
Like it's pretty big now. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, and I'm okay. I'm okay going to.
I'm okay not going.
I'm okay going to one.
Not going.
I'm okay going to one.
Yeah, but now it's like it's not like Forrest J. Ackerman. It's not like someone who was in like an Ed Wood movie. You know what I mean? It's like a little bit.
I think
now it's gotten a lot
John Cusack
bigger.
is there.
Yeah, that's
what's up with that? The money's got to be good. Money's got to be good if he's showing up. Dude, the guy was
really
in.
Weird.
The guy was in 2012.
What year did 2012 come out?
Like 2010 or 20. 2010 or 2009.
That kind of goes into like the original stuff. Like, so what was Logan? Logan was 2029. So it's 2017. The first X-Men movie.
2009.
Pretty much.
Look at that, man. Do I know my disaster movies starring John Cusack or what?
You're ready. That's the first part of my new my segment. It's fucking Geostorm.
I baited
Geostorm.
I baited you to ace me. Okay, so real quick, can I just finish Star Wars?
Yeah, I don't even.
Yeah. So Empire Strikes Back.
Okay, can I finish the tangent you started? Yeah.
Right. Empire Strikes Back is by far like the most complex, complete, dark, movie like that they're ever going to make. Right. Like potentially. Right. Mm-hmm. But to me, it's like. All right, does it have the elements that you imagine as a Star Wars movie? No, because it's so bleak, right? It's so bleak, philosophical, it does all these things. Not really, okay? So, then we go to this is our last one, let's cash in movie, Ewoks. It's the cash in movie, okay? And you have, there's two notable parts, the beginning and the end, like conflict with Vader, rescuing of Han. That's the only stuff you need in that entire movie. All the other stuff is to sell Ewok plush toys.
I absolutely think that like the end of Return of the Jedi is still my favorite because you have equally compelling endings happening at the same time.
Yeah.
I think that's the best sequence I've seen because even Force Awakens didn't complete that when they're when Poe's running around and he's flying and it's like those those TIE fighter sequences didn't work as well as I thought the space sequences in Rogue One I thought were like killer, like they were hit. Right.
Yeah, I think the land, sea, air, so to speak, or mind, body, soul conflict, and going off here a little bit. I think the only other movie
that's the whole show.
Yeah, I think the only movie. I think the theme of this episode is going to be Pete goes off. And it's just going to be like a bunch of
I think that's kind of the whole thing.
Okay, so here's the whole thing. The only movie that builds into a conflict similar to Return of the Jedi that stacks triple conflict or triple resolution and triple conflict as well. Ready? Matrix Revolutions. Okay, the final Matrix stacks Neo's journey, the resolution with Zion. The piece with the machines internally with the Oracle, okay? So you have those three layers too. They all get resolved, and you know where everything is at the end. Death of Trinity, the ending.
Spoilers.
Yeah. Take your fireball shots now. Pete goes off and spoils the Matrix
Revolution, which is like 14 years old.
Yeah. But I do feel like that the way how they've wrapped up the Matrix trilogy, whatever you want to call it, the Matrix storyline is on par with how they wrapped up everything.
Could just be the second one.
So after Return of the Jedi, now we have a Star Wars movie that has plenty of space, plenty of environment hopping. Mm-hmm. We have legacy, we have history, just with how that movie opens and the Star Destroyer just being like there's now there's like nuance to this mythology, and they explain the mythology, and like even characters like Snoke and the who's the girl with the big eyeballs.
Maz Kanata.
Maz, whatever, like that girl.
Way
okay,
to go.
yeah, okay,
Good
like
job.
like her injection. So she's like the Yoda role almost. She's like the spiritual side. So like it has what you would imagine a Star Wars movie having. Force Awakens, Rocky 4, like the journey there. But the thing is, though, even by the time Rocky 4 came out, they had a lot of time to dissect what the formula is. And they were able to expose it. And look, I will say they got back to it with Rocky Balboa and Creed. They got back to that formula. Rocky 5 was a footnote that we just can we just kind of get drunk punched and forget Rocky 5?
I like Balboa. I think Rocky Balboa gets kind of like rolled over, and I think that's kind of crappy. But like I think Creed took the right elements from Balboa, like just the bits of him going to the gravesite, sitting down, talking to Adrian, like Jesus, like
the really
the restaurant,
deep,
like,
depressing stuff too, man.
That's
like,
great. Like I think Balboa is great. Well, I think what I think is funny is that the speech, the 2 minutes about the Rocky Balboa just keeps getting, it floats around on Facebook all the time. Is the speech where he yells at his son? Where he's saying his son, like, he's like, I used to hold you in my hand.
Yeah.
You could do anything, and now, like, you let people tell you what to do.
Right, yeah.
And it's, like, on every it's always, like, in the middle.
Really?
It's on all these
Great.
inspirational stuff,
That's
like, all over. Because I always said, when I saw Balboa, and it came out real quiet. It was right when, when, he started to go back into screenwriting.
Well, yeah, and I think that came out short, like, they announced that right when Rainbow became a hit.
Yeah, I think he signed, and the pre-buzz of this was so good that they were like, well, they just wrote him a check for Rambo. Yeah. And then he shot himself with steroids and turned into like 2 of himself for Rambo.
So
and then
awesome.
murdered everyone.
Yeah.
I think he really killed people in that movie. That's how screwed up that movie was.
You want to change things? Get a gun.
I just think,
which is like so true.
I don't like Rambo. I don't know. That Rambo is the weird. Dude, it's like so.
You know why I love that movie? I love that movie because it's the lesson that okay, you're so high horse, you're so high and mighty. You want to go over here and change things and make things better. Like you don't trust fund liberal college kid. You're going to die.
You're just rolling over on everyone.
You're going into a world.
You're going all allegory. It's complete allegory for you.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Yeah.
Hey man, you can get what you take out of it. It's whatever.
It's that simple for me sometimes.
Right.
It's that simple. So where are we? Are we going? You want to talk about trailers before we talk about comics?
Yeah, my trailer trash.
Trailer trash talk.
Okay, so we got into it a little bit. So there must be now. Is there? I guess there has to be. What was the most recent like disaster movie? And I say this because the first trailer I've seen. Would you consider Geostorm
Independence Day Resurgence?
No, but like why? Like why did that come back? Like why? Like
Geostorm or Resident? Or not Resident Evil? I mean Independence Day.
Well, we talked about 2012. I just feel like it's never really stopped. But like, do they make any money?
Yeah, remember what was that storm? Wasn't there like a storm movie where it was like storms? It was a storm movie. Storms.
It was called Storms. I think you're trying to make this movie in existence. I don't think it's real existence.
Hold up. I'm just going to Google Storm movie? Storms. Storm?
Are you pitching the movie? Are you? This is basically someone in there. It's like, okay, we got Roland Emmerich.
Storm movie.
And Storm movie. How about this? I don't think that's a movie.
Storm movie.
What's... I'm close to it.
Into the Storm.
Who's in it? What was the Jamie Foxx one? Wasn't there a Jamie Foxx?
Starring
Jessica Biel?
Richard Armitage, Sarah Wayne Callis, Matt Walsh, I don't know. Made by Warner Brothers. Oh, budget.
You know what? I saw that movie.
50 million.
You know
Box
what?
office 161.
I saw that movie.
I never seen this.
I saw that movie.
I just remember the
because it had the girl from Sarah Wayne Callis's.
I don't know who she is.
She's Rick's wife in Walking Dead for the first season.
Oh, I'm looking her up right now.
And Armitage is the guy.
Oh, okay.
He was.
She dies. Does she die in the show? I never.
Spoilers.
Really
we spoiled
stuff.
season 2 of Walking Dead.
I never seen.
Take a
Walking
shot.
Dead.
Should we just do
isn't the Punisher guy banging her though in the show? The Punisher.
Spoilers
guy?
Again. Take a shot. I think the whole show should be we're spoiling things that everyone should know in the pop culture. We're going to keep saying spoilers. Go ahead. Take a shot. Boom. Everyone would be like, guess what?
Pete goes off.
Bruce Willis is a ghost in Unbreakable.
Spoiling
spoilers.
the Matrix. Matrix.
We're going to spoil Sixth Sense. You ready? Spoilers. Yeah. Guess what? Bruce Willis is a ghost.
What
spoilers. Take a shot.
Real quick side note. What are the movies that you think have spoilers to maintain?
I don't think there's anything now. I don't think.
Nothing.
The only thing now,
which is depressing.
The only thing now that I haven't heard anyone spoil yet, and I told 2 episodes back, I should hashtag the on episodes. What did I talk about? Get Out, where I love Get Out. Get Out was maybe not 20, maybe 16.
Yeah.
Whatever. Reference. Editor's note, asterisk. Get Out has a twist ending, but see, I think the Shyamalan movies have a twist ending too, because Split had a twist ending.
Yeah.
But that's out everywhere, I think. Okay. I think that's out everywhere. But so far, Get Out.
I've had
discussions to Get Out.
What's the twist ending? What's the twist ending?
Did we talk about that? That was when
Bruce Willis.
Yeah, the Bruce Willis in the diner.
But that's not the twist, though. That's just
that's the second twist.
That's an epilogue footnote type thing.
I almost feel that was a backdoor. That's almost like a backdoor pilot. We're gonna put this out and see if anyone reacts.
I agree.
And then there were people reacted, so now we're thinking about doing something else with it. I think it's interesting.
It's just almost I guess the opposite of what they do for the X-Men post-credit scenes, where everyone
they just don't know.
Yeah, people are like, "Oh, we're gonna put this out there, see if people like it." People are like, "Yeah, we like it." People are like, "Yeah, we kind of already decided not to do anything with it."
They don't add up at all.
We're already moving on. But essentially, would you be able to argue that the Mr. Sinister in Age of Apocalypse leads into Logan?
No, yeah.
Because how would they get the DNA for all that?
Why wasn't Richard E. Grant Mr. Sinister? Why did they not do that? They're like, this guy's, what's his name? And his name was Professor something. I was like, why isn't he just Nathaniel Essex?
Yeah.
A.K.A.
Or why can't
Mr. Sinister?
Or why can't they just make him, if they want to make it ultra realistic, you can at least do the triangle on the head.
Yeah.
Or something.
He would have been fine.
You can at least, you could visually, without going comic book do Mr. Sinister in the real world, very clean.
Yeah.
He can look like this guy. He can look like the Silvestri drawing.
Yeah, there was a Kieran Gillen Uncanny X-Men book a couple years ago where he did Sinister for 12 issues.
Oh, wow.
And it was great.
Is that the longest he's ever...
It was 2 or 3 storylines
where he's been in
he's always been in a couple, but they pretty much had him throughout the series.
About consistently, yeah.
Yeah, he was in and out of the series, and he was great. And there was actually lots of them. There was multiple Dimension Mr. Sinister, which was great. They were great. It was good. I know you're growling, but it was great.
Marvel really did jump the shark when they committed to multiverse.
Well, that was the Age of Apocalypse. That's what started that.
Yeah, but they stopped it though. And they had some crossover dudes, and fine.
Right.
Whatever. But at the end of the day, it wasn't just Fraction, Infinite Reed Richards nonsense that is them doing going to Secret Wars and saying, hey, all this time travel stuff came at a cost, and it's just
I think Hickman always did it all. Did it all good.
It's the spawn meter.
Yeah.
McFarlane knew to get rid of the spawn meter because there's no scorecard. There's no scorecard. You can't have a scorecard.
What was that for? He runs out of power.
He was going to run out of power, and
they started.
And he knew when he was going. It was a finite storyline. He knew when he was going to run out, and then I guess Spawn made more money than God.
Or initially, possibly.
That's what,
yeah.
McFarlane's I got enough. That's my McFarlane accent. I got enough in the bank.
McFarlane screensaver.
Yeah. Oh no, it's a rotating screensaver. Okay. He's in there though. Yeah, I got him in my But no, and it's just like, I got enough for 5 years, for 50 issues. We're going to go 50 issues with Spawn. I haven't figured it out. And then Spawn
Hilarious.
1 comes out, and he literally is like, I'm so stupid rich that I'm going to do toys. Wait, you're stupid. Yeah, I'm going to do other things, like whatever. Like, you make that much money off of Spawn, and you can just be like, you know what? I made so much money off of Spawn, I'm never drawing again, ever.
That's the worst.
Ever.
He does instructional videos drawing Baby Groot on YouTube. Way to go. Cool.
He's trying to. I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to, like, culturalize. He's trying to culturalize himself to a new audience, and he thinks like that's what the audience is, and that's what they're doing. But the real people who have power on YouTube are creating so much more outside of what he's doing. It does come off as out of touch. It comes off as major out of touch, and I see, because that's a lot of what I do. Just in like on a consultant advisory sense, like my 9 to 5 stuff, is that it's like that's exactly how it comes off. Like, wow, like, people are doing things on your cell phones. I'm going to do things on it. Okay. No. Like, who's talking to you?
It's like my
Todd.
Or it's my grandfather.
Who is like, hey, can we get back to doing fantasy action figures? I'm more upset about him. Like, I get it, they made adjustments because of the economy, like post on 09. Like, they had to make adjustments to like stay in business and redo how they did things. But it's almost like you're doing statues, you're doing these other things. You can get back to. I'm sure there's something there for you to do these original toy lines again that you can jump back into. And I'm more upset that is not happening, because if it's not him, then who? Then him. Like, we've had McFarlane imitators. We have guys close to McFarlane before, so whatever. But anyway, so let's talk some trailers.
Okay. So the point,
31-minute mark.
That long way around was about Geostorm, which was is a new storm that I don't even know. What, there's satellites that control the weather or something? I don't know. The trailer, I guess the first time I heard about this, watch the trailer. So before Kong, they had multiple trailers. So Geostorm was just terrible. And then one right after that, I think, again, I'm not putting any stock in Power Rangers. I'm not going to see it. It's not my wheelhouse. It's not. I'm too older. I'm too much older to it. Well, I'm a couple years older than it. But it won't work for me.
But the thing is, though, like, does it have to? Because I think it's coming off as just a really good looking movie. Like,
I don't think it's going to hit.
Let's go. You don't think it's going to hit?
I think it's going to be. It might get like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles money.
Yeah.
And like, I guess there's no budget because who did they pay? Elizabeth Banks, or did they pay like Bryan Cranston for 10 days?
Power Rangers has a huge budget. I think it's $150.
Really? Like, on who? On what?
It's
just the effects, like,
it's got to be
but here's the thing: they also make reference that they're. What did one guy say? He's like, "What am I, Iron Man, or what am I, Spider-Man?"
Oh, maybe.
Like, he was like, "Are we more this or that?" You know what I mean? And and I do think it's it's just the if I get superpowers, I wake up with abs. Like, that scene is in it too, and I break my sink. Like, that's it. Like, I was like, I get abs and break a sink. I'm like. That must be a superhero, right?
It's superheroes versus sinks.
we got to develop that montage.
Yeah.
Just of superheroes versus sinks. You got Wolverine beating up a sink.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just,
let's say,
poor sinks.
Yeah, so here we go. Hold on. I'm bringing up Power Rangers now. Power Rangers. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. Budget 105.
All right, so it'll be fine. Yeah. Like, I guess it'll be fine. To me, it doesn't hit.
I'll go on record. I believe this movie is going to open with at least $30 million.
I think it's going to do. I think it's going to hit 55 a weekend.
I don't know. What's the qualifier for Thursday release? Does every movie that's a summer movie?
Pretty much.
Get a Thursday release?
They do it now.
All right, so I'll say Thursday to Friday is going to be $30 million.
I don't know. I'd give it I'd say like 40. I think 40, 45 through the weekend, Thursday to Sunday.
Yeah, and Kong, for the record, is at $20 million.
Really? It's low.
Yeah.
Huh.
Sorry, Kong.
Well, it's expensive movie. So going right through trailer trash.
Yes.
Rolling right into The Mummy What are your thoughts on this fucking
Yeah,
thing?
look. So here, I think for
Tom Cruise running with dust hung behind him.
yeah, always second time, first time. Mission Impossible 5.
Now he has
he's in Dubai.
not been Tom Cruise since Interview with the Vampire. You realize that, right? He's been Tom Cruise in every movie. What, Vanilla Sky? He got he put like a little
Rock
makeup
of Ages.
on.
Rock of Ages.
To me, he wasn't even in that movie.
He's
that was
singing.
like a cameo.
He sings though.
And then he plays
It's
Frank.
hard
What's
to
his
sing.
name?
What about
Magnolia? He's shaking his fists around a magnolia for about 10 minutes.
Frank T.J. Mackey?
But that was only 4.
Okay, what
to me that was to sell like I don't know. Like
right,
I like
so,
Paul Thomas Anderson, but I think that movie doesn't exactly pull.
Oh, I don't know. That movie is filmmaking.
I still pull. And
I think Magnolia is.
I love
what it's all about.
Riley Hoffman, but I think that movie doesn't completely add up.
I don't know. I don't think it's supposed to. That's the point.
To me, Boogie Nights is so complete. Boogie Nights is more complete. Boogie Nights, in a way, is ripped off of Goodfellas in a way, the structure.
Yeah, I
and
see
the camera movement, and then just the push,
especially
the
the pull scene versus entrance, like the entrance scene,
and that's still going. Like that's still going from that went into La La Land. That same thing happened in the pool sequence.
Yeah,
that's the same
they're
thing.
supposed to be finite stories. Magnolia is not. Magnolia is you're getting the ends of some stories, you're getting the middle, you're seeing from the middle to the end.
Yeah, but it came more to me that's where it goes more disjointed. Where it's like the bad Spike Jonze versus the good Spike Jonze.
No, I think you're missing. It's Robert Altman shortcuts. You have to go to that movie to understand what the format.
Yeah, but I'd rather watch Gosford Park Robert Altman.
No, don't do that. Just watch
that's better because that's more to me.
Gosford Park's like
I want the finite. I want the movements.
Yeah.
Like I understand, like I don't love the incompleteness. I know what you're saying. You're saying that I like to have 7 storylines and all of them are in different places, and I want the movie to end in 7 storylines.
And for that format, it works more times. It works less times than it does. Mm-hmm. Okay, like
that's my problem.
It's a tough format to do. I think it's a filmmaker's format. Filmmakers they salivate to do formats like that because it's like, oh, I'm going to show you the deep complexities of all it. Like, I'm sure they're able to come in and think that they're being the artist. Okay.
Well, that's where that's where I think that it becomes so self-indulgent, it becomes so auteurish. They lose everything.
Yeah.
It loses it all. It becomes There Will Be Blood.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But I think There Will Be Blood too is fantastic. I think The Master is awesome.
That's where I think he came back. I think he came back and pulled it to more singularity.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, There Will Be Blood though is almost like the point of what this guy is prepared to do for no other means than to do it. Mm-hmm. And I think people went into that movie thinking it was going to be like a bloodbath. Mm-hmm. They thought it was going to just be war and beheadings and people getting their entrails ripped out, and they got one death in the whole, maybe 2 deaths in the whole movie. But it's really about what I think it's a great definition of what that time was like. Mm-hmm. And what you had to do and how it's built. There's very few movies that do that objectively, that show you how things were built in a certain time. It really is. I mean, but anyway, so what else we got?
That was Tom Cruise running. We got all that from Tom Cruise running.
Really? Jeez. Look at you staying on point, though. Bravo.
I don't think The Mummy's going to hit. What's the budget of Mummy? Pull that one up. Because you got to pay Russell Crowe to walk around fat in a suit and go so he's Dr. Jekyll. He's Dr. Jekyll in it. He's going to be... So they're loosely... So this is the first one?
This
will now be the first one because Dracula Untold didn't work.
And
Dracula, whatever the fuck that was.
Yeah, Untold failed, but it got the talk started talking. I think
they wanted that to be Dracula, Mummy, Dr. Jekyll. What else? Invisible Man. Invisible Man movie.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, so the 2017 Tom Cruise Mummy movie budget. Oh, I'm not getting it. Wow.
They're still spending.
Yeah.
They're still spending. Because I don't... Okay, here's my problem with it. I don't know who the Mummy is. She's the mummy, yes.
Maybe.
But
Yeah.
the plane crashes. He has this weird ass scream. He's like, ah, like he does that horrible scream.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, and that's where the trailer. This is where I always fight around with trailers because what is going on? Here's the trailer.
And he seems.
Do they do scenes?
He seems maybe like super powered in the trailer.
Because he's dead.
Like he has ability. Yeah.
He's in the body bag at the beginning, and then he wakes up after the plane crash.
Yeah. So I'll tell you what I tell you why I like this movie. You're Tom Cruise. You can still do anything you want. You can pick any property. You can go in any direction. He has a relationship with Paramount, right? That's who, right?
Yeah, it's always Paramount.
Okay.
Yeah. I think because he just gets back end. I don't think
there's no other actor in history that's made more money for Paramount ever.
Mm-hmm.
He has made no other actor has given back to a studio and been as productive for a studio as Tom Cruise has for Paramount.
I'm not saying he doesn't commit. I'm just saying that I don't want to see him anymore.
Well, but I think I just think he does develop great projects. He develops good projects. Like he gets ideas. He takes scripts.
I think that he commits, and I think that's what I want to. That's what people want to watch. They want to see him do fucking drown himself almost, or throw himself inside of a plane for a little while it takes off.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's fucking crazy.
I just think all right, so take Tom Cruise out of that movie. Okay.
I don't want to see a chick running around with 4 eyes.
Well, does it still seem interesting? And Tom Cruise is not in that. In this idea that they're doing I hate to say it again, ultra realistic take on Stargate. You're digging something up and you're going into you're uncovering it. But I think this is going to be if it's a universe building movie, I think it's going to come off as the most epic first run universe building movie. As a .0 movie, it's going to be bigger than Iron Man. It's going to be bigger than Superman Returns or Man of Steel. It's going to be bigger than Godzilla.
Who's directing that,
Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is directing it.
No, he's not.
Hold up, let me get to it. Let me look that up because I closed it out.
I don't want to be the reference. I hate the shows a reference that all we do is look on the computer. I don't want to do that either. So
I mean,
as long as it's for purpose. I just don't trust whoever it is.
Okay, whoever it is. Oh, Alex Kurtzman.
No, he's a writer. He wrote he's the co-writer. Is that the Kurtzman Orchie guy?
Yeah, co-writer, producer.
No, he was born out of DreamWorks.
He's attached to The Invisible Man, Van Helsing, Vampire Chronicles. Those are your next four. So he's almost like a showrunner. You can consider him a showrunner. But look. No. Look at the movies he's written. The Island. Okay. You can. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's probably the worst Michael Bay movie. The Legend of Zorro. Legend of Zorro. Right. Okay.
Which one's the Legend of Zorro?
Is
that the second Banderas?
That is the second one. That's the 2005 one.
I guess.
Okay. Mission Impossible 3. The best. Right. You can say the Rabbit's Foot.
Not the Abrams.
Yes. Okay. The Abrams one. Okay. Transformers 1. Come on.
I like Transformers 1.
Okay. Eagle Eye. Come on.
Yeah.
Watchmen.
What was Eagle Eye?
Eagle Eye is Shia LaBeouf. That's the one with the NSS surveillance. And Eagle Eye is their code word for it.
What am I thinking?
That's another DreamWorks movie. Eagle Eye, yeah, and it has the girl in it.
But the one is that Rear Window? The one he's looking up through the binoculars? No, it's Disturbia.
That's Disturbia. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't even know.
After Eagle Eye, ready? You ready? Watchmen. Fantastic adaptation. You got your thoughts. Okay. You ready? Star Trek. Bringing back Star Trek.
Him and Orchie do that.
Okay.
I think when it's him, I know he's paired. I know he was in the DreamWorks writing assignment thing. He's a project. He's an intern.
Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen. No. Writer strike movie. You gotta excuse it. It's writer strike movie. The Proposal. Not familiar with that. Cowboys and Aliens. Okay. And then we have Star Trek Into Darkness. People like us not familiar with.
That's the one he directed. That's the one I think with Pine and.
Okay.
That's creepy.
And now we get into we want to kill you mode. Mm-hmm. We want to kill you, Kunstman. Ender's Game, The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Oof. Now You See Me 2, The Brothers Grimsby. We want to kill you now, Grimsby. Kunstman. So,
I'm done.
So he, from 2013 to 2006, he's had 72 months, or 36 months, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of hours. 36 months, 3 years of being involved in movies that we like to dislike.
Yeah.
But he's going to have a comeback with The Mummy and with Tom Cruise.
He never was really there to come back, so it doesn't matter to me.
Okay, but you said you enjoyed Transformers.
I like some of Transformers for different reasons.
And The Island.
You want me to like The Island more than I do.
I do.
I want to like The Island more than I do, but I don't.
Just look.
I like The Island as much as I like the beach.
It's got Obi-Wan Kenobi,
like the Danny Boyle
and the
Beach
Black
movie.
Widow. Oh come on, that I think people praise that movie.
They do, but I feel like The Island they praise the same way. It's the same type of thing. They're like, oh, did you ever see that?
Really? I thought everyone thought The Island was garbage. And I was the only one that was
I think you have the little bit of it that's going. So.
Okay. So what else? Other trailers.
All right, so trailer trash. So Chips. Who is this for?
23 Jump Street?
That's what I wrote here.
No,
look, it's right there. That's what I wrote there. 23 Jump Street. Yeah.
23 Jump Street.
That's right. Because those guys are busy.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Well, actually, you know what? It's not even that they're busy. It's Phil Lord and Chris Miller, they're doing Han Solo. So, upgrade.
Okay, yeah.
Those guys had the weirdest career. They did Clone High, right?
Yeah.
And then they did, they did some stuff in between that. I know I'm skipping stuff, but then they did 21 Jump Street. They wrote the Lego movie. They directed the Lego movie. They did 22 Jump Street.
Yeah.
And then they created Son of Zorn. They directed the Last Man on Earth pilot and did the first couple episodes and co-wrote that with, because Will Forte was a voice on Clone High, so they're friends with him from 20 years ago.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, but they were attached to direct The Flash. They wrote The Flash.
Okay, yeah.
And then they threw out that script. And now that script is nowhere, and The Flash isn't even in production. It's supposed to be out next summer. It's not even in production.
Dude, the Flash movie is...
It's a fucking train wreck.
Dude, so here's the thing. Flash movie and now the Batman essentially don't have the same production time frame. They got separate releases, but it's still... They would have the same amount of time to make those two movies. Right, roughly 1 year.
Nothing's getting made. In a way.
I think the Flash is in 8 months, and Batman would be in 12 months. So it doesn't matter. Nothing is getting done.
What's happening?
They don't
know how to run it. They don't know how to run it.
How? Why?
Because they don't have a guy. They don't have a Kevin Feige.
They don't have a showrunner.
They don't have They don't have like Jeff Johns.
Czar. They.
I don't know why. I don't understand how he's not.
Do it. I always thought Jeff Johns was fanboy trash. I'm sorry, fanboy trash. I love that he wormed his way. Him and freaking Jim Lee wormed their way into the establishment
in and up,
and just destroyed it from the inside out. Because for some reason, I don't know why you would ever think that Jeff Johns should even be involved with any of this outside of a guy in the room telling people where it should go.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah.
Like the same way how they use Bendis early Marvel Universe movie days. Mm-hmm. They had Bendis in the room, and he was able to correct some of it.
Right.
Okay. That's it.
Yeah.
Bendis, go destroy the X-Men in the comics. We need you for here.
Right.
Go away.
Yeah.
Go destroy something else in the comics. But I don't know why they would ever think Jeff Johns could run that the way that he's no czar.
Right.
I'm sorry. You made some cool things cool, or you made some off-center things cool in comics. Mm-hmm. You did, you had some great runs, but that does not make you this position. I'm sorry.
No, I know.
Yeah, same thing with Jim Lee. What's he doing? I know he gets praised, but what is one costume design upgrade that he has ever done? That
I can't take that Flash costume. That makes me so insane. There's only one person. There's one person who draws it good, And that's it. Like, who's drawing it now, and every month it's like, oh, I hope. And then it's just, I hate it. So many lightning bolts.
Even when Jim Lee was at Wildstorm, where it was like all him, none of those designs at all. Look, you can say it, the Rob Liefeld designs resonated just off of a like simple silhouette, like painting a naked figure type colors and pattern type thing resonated far more than any of the Jim Lee work. Like the Jim Lee stuff that's always been his poorest side. He cannot design uniforms or costumes. He cannot. And now that's all he's doing.
Right.
You son of a bitch!
I just think it's weird, like the most, but you're right. The two people that are like at the top of like the DC comics, I don't think that they have the right people up at the top of the DC thing. That just doesn't work. Fox doesn't have it either.
You ready?
That's why every Fox movie doesn't have it.
Fox got a new studio head, and we got Deadpool and Logan out of it.
Yeah, but I think Logan was just like a last. Logan was just like, all right, here's the last thing.
But it doesn't matter. It's not that for Fox. Did you find
Logan tiring? I felt Logan tiring because I feel like I've seen everything that I saw in that movie already.
No, here's the one thing I'm baffled at commentary wise for Logan. What? Okay, you know this. You might have to think about it. I'm going to let you think about it. What's the one universal criticism of all Marvel movies? The one universal criticism.
What do you mean?
Like the villains. Everyone complains about the villains.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, right? Mm-hmm. They just it's the hero 2.0 and we just go up against ourselves. Right? Logan. What does Logan do? No one complains about it though.
Right. Yeah.
Now it's they praise and that. They praise and that. But Logan literally goes up against a mirrored version of himself, and everyone is. But hey, they'll rip Captain America, they'll rip Thor, they'll rip that wonderful Paul Rudd superhero movie where he shrinks. They will rip. They will rip.
The thing with Logan,
the Hulk.
Well, I didn't like the X-24 concept. I thought that was like stupid. But the thing, what I also thought was interesting when you saw that, it really made me appreciate the makeup that they did on Hugh Jackman now.
Yeah,
he doesn't look like that. Like, so when I watched the trailer, I'm like, I guess he's really aged.
No,
he doesn't look like that. He's so old looking in the movie. It's pretty fantastic.
That they had, like the subtle scarification.
Like that's really good makeup. That's really fascinating. That's next year's Oscar winner. Suicide Squad 2 won't be out in time. So that was this year's Oscar winner.
Okay, here's what I would do if I was DC. Just give it all to Mel Gibson.
What is he in? Shit, he's in something else. He's in something coming up. He's in Daddy's Home 2.
Yes.
That's weird.
Well, okay, why isn't John Cena in Daddy's Home?
I will say,
Daddy's Home 2?
I don't know.
Because that's how that movie...
That's how it ended.
And you're almost like...
I would see that.
Dude, I would be
He's very funny. He's very, very funny.
Yeah, I would be so in... And just off of the laughable proportions of him versus Mark Wahlberg...
Right.
Like, to where, like, Mark Wahlberg, they pump him up on screen. They put him next to, like, The Rock and Pain and Gain, and you're like, oh, here we go. Right. But then, next to John Cena, you're almost like, yo, like, this is... It's almost like, you haven't... Like, that's big enough of a joke to... You could just have the two of those guys in Daddy's Home 2, and it would be huge.
Yeah, I think that would work. I don't know. I mean, that's... Well, there was a movie last year that Mel Gibson was in that... I know he directed... Violent McViolence-Steen movie, the Hacksaw Ridge movie that everyone's head just got blown off multiple times. But he was in a movie that he starred in called Blood Father that I watched one night, which was just a straight-up revenge movie, and it was great.
And who is this? I'm sorry.
It was Mel Gibson. He was in it.
Oh,
and he
just Blood Father.
Blood Father, and he's like, and he's just an old guy and it was almost like a Logan like sister movie in a way. Yeah, is that his daughter's in trouble. And his daughter's boyfriend was a drug runner or whatever.
Okay.
And then his daughter gets kidnapped. He's got to go get her.
Cool.
Simple as that. Like not like exactly like Taken, but he's got to go get her and he's got to do some bad stuff. Yeah. And beats the shit out of people. And he's got this cool ass beard. But the weird part about that movie is that if you go online and see the trailer, or if you see the poster for it, it's like a different Mel Gibson movie face. It's just Mel Gibson's face, and he looks like he's leaning against a wall. In the movie, he's got this weird, long, cool, like multicolored gray, white beard.
Wow. Okay.
And I was like, why isn't he on the poster like that? Yeah. Like, because I saw the trailer and then I saw the poster. I was like, who is this the same movie?
Well, look, he was in Get the Gringo, The Beaver, He's been in just forgotten, low rated.
He does his I think
like
that
not
he's
paid
allowed
attention
to
to movies.
pick
Yeah,
his own thing. Like he's allowed to go do his own thing. So all right, so we got that out of 22 Jump Street somehow. All right, so 23 Jump Streets. Chips.
Yeah.
It'll probably make money. It'll make as much money as Baywatch. It'll just do the same thing. Like Baywatch is the same thing. That's the same exact movie as any of those movies. So that's not the fun.
Yeah.
So the one that got me, the Red Band trailer came out yesterday.
I think I know what you're gonna say.
It's Atomic Blonde.
Jane Wick.
Jane Wick. You said Jane. What did you put that on?
I put that on my Facebook, on my Facebook. Peter A. DeLuca, AKAPAD. It's a business page.
Yeah. So Atomic Blonde.
Jane Wick
Is Furiosa and the Blade chick from Kingsman.
Oh,
so they got to run around. But see here, okay. So this goes back into my complaints on trailers. That's every week, I know. But my complaints on trailers is this: if there's a trailer, they have to have a song. No, okay. So there's two different types of trailers going on.
Trailers.
Right? There's a couple trailers going on. So they'll either show a scene like The Mummy, where they're like, "We're on a plane." And the plane's gonna crash. So they show you a 2-minute scene of the movie, and then they show you a bunch of montage with a song that you know, but they're gonna play it really slow.
Yes.
Right, it's gonna be Rihanna singing something droney. It would be like this one was Blue Monday, sung slow.
Yes.
But they did the scene where they're fighting in a hallway, one take, one shot.
Yeah.
She's being thrown around, John Wick style. One.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, what's going on here?
But yeah,
all right.
I'll tell you.
I
tell you my problem with that. I'm sorry. Once you get hit, female. Once you get hit that way by a MAN.
Oh, here we go.
I don't care what your training is.
Okay.
You're not. And I'm not saying that there's not MMA girls that can take a hit, but it is totally different when the guy has 80 pounds on you and hits you as hard as he hit her. You're not getting up. And I hate that. That it's a little bit of the red letter media's, and I kind of agree with them. Red letter media start attacking the scene, like in Rogue One, she's taking out stormtroopers with a baton, and these are armored men, and she's just. And you need to have that scene now in movies where like the woman takes out a room full of men.
Well, yeah. I mean, in the Star Wars movies, like, there has to be a man looking at it and going, "Oh, right." Like, there's got to be like the reaction.
I'm going to help you, and there's a.
I guess you don't need any help.
Yeah, okay. Like it's like, what are we doing?
Maybe I need help.
Like
that's in the Wonder Woman trailer. Remember, or not? Yeah, the Wonder Woman trailer. Like he's like going to defend her, and the guy shoots her.
Yes.
And then, it's a callback to Superman, which I think is pretty cool. Like the Superman scene where they're in the hall in the.
Okay. I knew.
But she blocks the bullet, and I think that's kind of cool.
That's right. Yeah. But look, I'm not saying.
Most forgettable.
Look, I'm not saying women aren't strong, powerful, and even tough as nails.
If you roll it back, I think that's exactly what you're saying. Roll it back.
No, I'm just saying if that girl got hit, and you know what?
The Atomic Blonde, you mean?
Yes.
Furiosa.
It's something now that's happening that it's almost like, no, I mean, like, things are what they are. Things are what they are, and it's not all equal. Mm-hmm. Like, who's doing it right? How does Black Widow fight in the Marvel movies? Completely different than any guy.
She fights with her thighs. She jumps on people's heads. And then they fall down.
She uses momentum.
Them.
She uses.
No, that's true. It's Aikido.
She's like a Rey Mysterio Jr. Like if you ever watched Rey Mysterio wrestle in the early 2000s in his WCW days, he beat Kevin Nash for like the title, or was it Kevin Nash? But it's like no, I think he beat the Giant. He might beat Paul White for the title, but they put him up against the biggest guy in the company, and he wins through like using his momentum. Using your momentum and his momentum for and against you.
Yeah, it's like an Aikido technique.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, and the thing is, you get that. You get that when you watch the Black Widow fight. It's designed. It's choreographed. She is not punching things out. She's not punching people out by force. Mm. It makes no sense. I'm sick of it. Jane Wick.
There's a lot. There's a lot. But then she's got to team up with Professor X / the split guy, right?
Yeah.
And then I almost want to say that there's just like, so this entire, we talked about this before the episode. So when we talk about, I feel that there's only so many people on the table. So say we're two producers. Me and you are producers, right? And we're producing.
Yeah.
But like say we're two producers. I feel like there's only so many actors on the table. So there's Loki, or you have John, what's his name, Dan Connor, which is John Goodman, but now he's got a beard. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, and then you have Samuel L. Jackson, like he's the catch-all. Like,
yes.
we need someone. Oh, well, he's available. He does 17 movies a year.
Yeah,
it's like there's only so many actors, and they're all in now. But then a new movie comes out, and that introduces 2 or 3 more.
Yes.
Now they'll be in it for a while. Like Brie Larson's going to be in things for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
And then they go away. You know what I mean? And then they'll be good stable characters. Like Amy Adams was in it, then went away. Now she's back.
Yeah. So
there's just this many cards on the table.
Since we're talking trailers and kind of previews, where can we talk about what they're doing with Thor now? What are your thoughts on that?
So this we haven't seen. Okay, so you can already hear that I have ridiculous opinions because it's me, and you can hear my hesitation to even create a thought. Okay, so here's the thing. I have to say we have to see the color corrected footage. So Entertainment Weekly dropped 10 or 12 photos this week. And these are really garish and really, really bright.
It's all high pass.
But we don't know what it's going to look like.
Yeah,
just yet.
Yeah, and I like it though.
But,
I like that.
There's a lot of Kirby. If you look at the background, there's a lot of Kirby.
Yeah.
There's this guy having a drink at the bar with the Valkyrie.
Wait a minute.
It's just like this
Wait
thing.
a minute now. Wait a minute. So you're saying you can maybe even argue in 3 Thor movies that there's potentially more Jack Kirby than Stan Lee in those 3 stories?
Well, no, I'd say the second movie was more like Roy Thomas era, like Simonson era. So,
but
the first one was very Stan Lee, Jack Kirby. More Stan Lee credited.
What are the Stanley? What are the Stanley?
What's the time mark now?
Gems.
We're gonna do.
We're at the 1 hour mark.
Here we go. The 1 hour mark is where the Stan Lee comes out.
What are we digging for in Thor? What are the Stan Lee gems in the Thor movie?
To me, there was more.
Like, I'm sure when they were making that movie, and Kenneth Branagh is like, I need Stan Lee's voice. Mm-hmm. How do we put Stan Lee's voice?
I think all the Heimdall, I think all that stuff. I think all that stuff was in there. You don't think any of that stuff was in there? That's all the Tales from Asgard stuff. I don't think Jack Kirby came up with all that stuff. That's not even Stan Lee. That's more like him adapting, old folk tales. I can't even finish it. You're like so furious.
I'm furious because I was hoping that you were gonna have a point.
Oh.
And I'm watching you unravel.
This is it.
So you're saying the guy that gets 0 credit, that just kind of, is an idiot and drew pictures.
I didn't say
is
that.
Still resonating in the content today. You know what? Moving on. What's your next trailer?
All right, so my winning trailer is the one that I like the best was Ghost in the Shell. I think Ghost in the Shell is going to capture. I think this is the only thing that's going to work.
I am with you on that, and I'll tell you a little bit of what turned that corner for me last night when I saw Kong.
The Steve Aoki trailer.
They had the stand up, like the theater standee, which is like, I guess as of right now the next best one is Guardians 2 with the couch, which is like awesome, next level awesome. The Ghost in the Shell one is so like cool looking, it's so unique.
Right.
And I think anyone that would, if that's what they were able to get from the movie, like if they were like, look, like this is the movie, what are we going to do around it, and like that's what they come up with, dude. There's no one that's going to walk by that thing that isn't going to want to see it.
Right.
And it was next to like a Beauty and the Beast banner, which does nothing. Right. Like, people just have to know it's coming out. Like, that's the only thing with Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
But there's, like, nothing compared to it. Like, and that's what I mean to where it's just, I think it's easily, you can easily consider that, like, a centerpiece. Because it's just, like, this pink triangle with her in it. And it's just goofy and weird
really
and science
cool
fiction-y.
Yeah.
And, hate to say it, like, it's Blade Runner, Fifth Element looking, and or the first few minutes of Stallone's Judge Dredd.
I don't know where that. No.
No?
I don't think it's that.
Rob Schneider being flown, looking at the city. Like, I want to live. He sees the pool. I want to live there. No.
I don't know if I got that far into it. You had me there. You almost had me, and then no.
The hell with Stanley.
So I think that I just think the Ghost in the Shells. That's the only thing I really want to see.
Yeah.
This summer, I feel like we're just getting into the same things and everything on the ground.
Did you see the Fate of the Furious trailer too? Where are you with
I
that?
didn't watch it. Like, no, it actually didn't. It didn't show in front of Kong, and I saw that it was on Joe Blow, but I didn't feel like that's your prediction as it's going to fall off bad, and I agree with you on that.
And guess what though? This is what occurred to me, and like this is why you listen to this show and you don't listen to these J-offs on YouTube, because it's amazing how they never say anything and they all not say the same things. Mm-hmm. Collusion. But here's the failure of the Fate of the Furious. Trailer 2. Big push. Ready? Mm-hmm. You barely have any Vin Diesel in that trailer. How do you have that movie? It's a Vin Diesel. Vin Diesel came back to bring that franchise back to life. How on earth is he not in the trailer more as a focal point? And now they have so many characters. Mm-hmm. It's kind of Rock. It's kind of Jason Statham. You're not seeing a lot of Charlize Theron.
Right.
So what is that movie? You have no idea what that movie is. Yeah.
No family. There's no scene. This is family.
And The Rock's trying to do the family thing, and
that's not gonna.
They were like, I don't know. You don't buy The Rock saying family in that trailer either.
Well, he was also doing too many other movies, so they had to like throw him in a cast the last movie. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like they're like
they bookended it.
Yeah.
Still got bookended better than Rogue in X-Men 3.
the Rogue cut.
No, that's Days of Future.
Yeah.
No, in Rogue 3 they only had her for like 2 weeks. So that's why she gets cured in X-Men 3.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they were like, what? Like it's like James Marsden. How much time we got before Superman returns? 4 days. We can.
Okay, cool.
We can work with that.
We're gonna kill you off screen.
We can do something with that.
Fucking stupid. Yeah. I hate that. So yeah, that's the only thing. So you want to roll right into Kong because
Well, here's let me.
Can I
go into just something here?
Yeah.
The length of the conflict. This is just simple things. Anyone can look it up. November 1st, 1955, to the fall of Saigon, April 30th, 1975. That was roughly after Nixon's Hanoi Christmas Day bombing, where he basically carpet bombed the Viet Cong into submission. Mm-hmm. Okay? And at that point, a peace treaty was offered, a ceasefire was offered. At that point, America accepted the peace offer, and the communism threat backed off. The line was never moved. USA, all the US POWs were released. Okay? And the war ended in peace. Mm-hmm. Okay. I have to say that before we go into this movie.
Because the movie starts with Dan Connor and Dr. Dre walking through a hallway in Washington, D.C.
Starts with a protest. Mm-hmm. Throughout the entire movie, we're echoing failure. We're echoing America lost the war. Same notes that you see.
You can't go home again because he didn't want to go home.
Right. You see.
They were all going home. That whole troop was about to go home
the next day.
And then he's like, "We're not going to go home.
Right.
We got to go."
They have one more day on duty. He accepts it, and then essentially gets everyone killed. Spoiler.
Good job.
Yeah. Okay. So we have.
Way to go, Sam Jackson. Way to go, Nick Fury.
We even have movies like Days of Future Past. Mm-hmm. Okay. What you can argue is the best X-Men movie. That movie too also echoes the same sentiment. Okay. Mm-hmm. The little midget guy from Game of Thrones says that you lost Vietnam, you don't want to lose another war. Okay. It's complete malarkey. There is no loss when there is a peace treaty offered, when the other side surrenders. That is not a loss. Now, at this point, this is why Hollywood should never try and take people to school and educate, because
this is the other theme of our. We do have themes. Like we pretty much have the same themes pretty much every episode.
Because
it's interesting.
Yeah, because I think it's the state. Mm-hmm. I really do. Okay. Don't take us to school because you're not smart enough to educate us. You're just not.
Well, hold on.
In your bubble, Hollywood.
But how many people are not who don't know any different? They're going to watch it and just accept it because they're not smart enough.
That's part of the problem. And here's the thing. So we've now had a culture of Vietnam movies and Vietnam takes within movies that are apologetic. Mm-hmm. That are almost like anti-American, apologists. Okay? And they sell this conflict inaccurately, grossly inaccurately. Okay? Some of the greatest Vietnam movies ever. Okay?
Tom Cruise.
Born in 4th of July, one of the best biopics ever made.
I'm not making fun of it. I'm actually saying.
Okay, and Born in the 4th of July also properly illustrates what it was like, what the veterans had to go through.
Exactly.
100%. Now, this is a part of, thank you, Jane Fonda. Jane Fonda comes into this. Jane Fonda, on her high horse, Hollywood bubble, goes on an anti-war protest. Okay, these people now are arguing against a communist threat. Did you know that they found communists in the State Department? That's how bad the communist threat was. They were inside our government, okay? They were derailing progress, okay? Here's the other crazy thing. Walter Cronkite, one of his correspondents that he got his information from was a KBG spy. Okay, these are things that we know. Okay, Hollywood comes in, it's anti-war, country becomes anti-war. 100% understandable because it was wholesale young American deaths. Okay, here's the other funny thing. You know, by large majority, more Americans volunteered to go into the Vietnam War to fight communism as opposed to the ones that were drafted. More Americans volunteered to go fight because it was understood that the communists and the communist threat was so bad. Okay, if you want to know how bad what communism is, Rusev, he's a WWE wrestler. He just did the podcast with Chris Jericho. He talks about communism in Bulgaria prior to the break off of Bulgaria to the USSR. No matter rich or poor, he says in this, no matter if you were rich or poor, you had 2 hours of electricity on and 2 hours of electricity off. Okay, so Hollywood wants to tell you it's bad. It's bad. That war was bad. We don't fight those guys. We don't fight those guys. Okay. At one time in Russia, here's the. I'm just gonna get off of this real quick.
That's fine.
Okay, and that's what she said. Okay. All right. Ready? Russia at one time created billboards. They needed to create billboards for awareness. These billboards, okay, essentially said, "Do not eat your children." Do you know why? Because they could not feed their citizens to the point, okay, cause of communism, that people were eating their infants to stay alive. To the point that they had to create billboards to tell people not to eat their children. That is what you want to fight for. You want to fight against that. Okay? So all of this, look, all of it, okay, when they come against Vietnam, even on that, and I'm not saying anti-war, I'm not even saying any of that. Well, I'm just saying, you can't go in for 30 years now and continue this point in movies, okay? Because eventually it's going to frustrate the shit out of people. Because people know. You can look it up in 2 seconds. You can look it up when you're peeing in the movie theater. You can look it up. But at the same point, it's almost like they're just so much in their bubble. They're relying on people not to look it up. They're relying on the midget from Game of Thrones and the guy from Pulp Fiction educating you on what happened in the Vietnam War.
Well, that was the guy in Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, the guy from Nick Fury. Nick
Fury's going to tell you.
Okay.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Marcellus.
And I just want to say this. Going to the con, I had decent intel through YouTubers on what to expect from this movie.
Yeah, this was a pretty, to go back to Logan for a second, I feel like Logan is so universally praised. You go in with a different expectation on it, and I expected it to be a little bit better. And it's hard for me to review Logan because I was actually really sick when I saw I had the flu, and I saw I was just with a fever, and I just so I can't 100%.
You got the fever.
I can't 100%. I do like a lot of it. I do think that, the X-23 character was the best part of it in a way. Can you grab me a beer?
Yeah, I'm grabbing beers.
So I think that worked. I think the end really works. I do think that for whatever reason they still Vox still hates to develop any mutants. Like, they have all these new mutants in it.
Yeah.
And they don't do anything with any of them. They all have the same generic powers.
Yeah.
You know, they all have the same, like, they're so generic, and I'm just like...
Ice Girl.
Yeah. Like,
Paint
you
Girl.
have Richter, like,
Richter,
do it.
yeah.
And you basically have, like, Sunspot, do it. You know what I mean? Like, sort of, they have the same, you know...
Side note, Richter dies? Does he die in the comic continuity? I thought he died.
No, Richter and Shatterstar are... They're gay
Whoa!
lovers.
Yes. Okay.
That's the thing.
That's so stupid. How can you be from? Do you remember when people thought?
Yeah, but Shatterstar was with Jubilee for a long time.
Do you remember when
I'm
people
sorry,
thought?
Dazzler.
Okay, geek note, geek alert. Do you remember?
Do we have to even sound that? Isn't that the start of the show?
No, because it's our normal back and forth, and then there's this. I would say this is the dark side.
This is the beginning of the comic discussion, and now we're whoa.
This is the dark side. Do you remember? They couldn't decide how many fingers to draw on Shatterstar. He would have 4, he would have 5. They couldn't decide.
Right.
And everyone thought he was a clone of Longshot.
Right.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Shatterstar wasn't with... No, Longshot was with Dazzler. I'm confused.
Longshot.
Longshot was with Dazzler. Okay. All right.
Yeah, and you know with him, he can do 2 in the pink and 2 in the stink because of his finger.
Because of his Jesus Christ.
Longshot. Okay.
Jesus.
So, the YouTubers for Kong. Okay, so I just wrote down what they universally said. Mm-hmm. Little character development. Okay. Mm-hmm. Great action. Mm-hmm. Main characters were useless. Here we go. The one thing and some of the influencers and one YouTube gatekeeper even said this. Shot like Apocalypse Now. Mm. How much of that do you agree with of those 4?
Yeah, I don't like any. I don't think any of the. I don't think any of the main characters are really anything. This is really a Mad Libs not like thing going on here, and because I want to say that this movie just kind of pulls from a bunch of different things. I want to say that Loki is in it, so Loki's there. Tom Hiddleston.
Loki.
Yeah, Loki. So Loki basically is playing Dr. Ian Malcolm from Lost World. Because in the Thor movies, he like doesn't, he's lanky, and then he does some push-ups, and then he's in a black shirt and he does a movie. Well, like that's this and character.
We were commenting on his intro scene, which is
it's Han Solo's intro scene.
Yeah, which is out of everything, but at the same time, it's still the logic of you have 2 scientists who have a deep knowledge of a place that now 3 people know in existence, now 4, including Loki. 4 people in the entire world know the existence of this place, period. Mm-hmm. This guy is now educating these people on the possible dangers.
This is how you're gonna die.
Yeah, and
here we go.
And like, what do you mean? We're talking about this land that time forgot. That you're not even. It's not. They don't even phrase it like that. They phrase it as these are the creatures, and they repeat this throughout the entire movie. Mm-hmm. These are the creatures that ruled the earth, and they are coming back.
Right.
Which is great because you get some of that in Godzilla.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
These guys understand. So these are the guys when they see Kong, they should just be like, "Yo, it's crazy how right we were."
Right. That's what he says at one point. He says, "I was a crackpot."
Right. Yeah, I was a crackpot yesterday.
Now,
yes,
I'm not. You know what I mean?
But the whole thing though, it's still
Dan Connor with beard. Dan Connor from Roseanne with a beard. So Dan Connor and Dr. Dre go into a bar, and then they meet up with Loki. Well, no, first they meet with the stepfather's dad. So they meet with Will Ferrell's dad in Step Brothers, right? So they have to meet with Step Brothers' dad to get some money, and then for them to order Nick Fury in a ragtag group. We gotta get a ragtag group.
Yeah.
So Dr. Dre, Dan Connor meet up with Nick Fury and Koba, or Dr. Doom, right? Because you got Dr. Doom. So this is what I mean. What I talked about earlier was that there's only so many actors in Hollywood, it seems, and when they're new, they got to just be in the next movie.
Yes.
So here's the it people.
Yeah, but I think...
Here we go.
But here's the thing. I think there's something to that. I think it works.
It's a demographic thing.
I think it's just something to where this is the look, this is the face that has people's
Easy
attention.
And Dr. Dre. You got both sides of NWA in it. And then you got... I wrote the guy's name down because he's in all these movies, but
can we just call him Al Pacino.
He's not.
From
His name's
Tropic
Shay.
Thunder.
What's his name? Shay something. I think I wrote it down. But he's in it, and he's just like kind of he's like everyone's like uncle. He's everyone's mentor. He's Eazy-E's mentor, you know. So, and there's a really weird death scene with that guy. That just like it was such an unceremonious platoon. All the death scenes you said are just completely worthless.
None of them forward the plot at all. None of them forwarded the plot, which is crazy for me because even when. Let's just compare it, like, because you have to, because I think it's such a masterful, long movie, and I do like lengthy movies. I don't know, you know why I like long movies? Because I got a attention span.
You do, I don't.
Okay.
That's why I don't like any. That's why I don't even like trailers.
So, right, that's not a knock against you. That's a knock against anyone that
totally
says anything against like Meet Joe Black or
I can't handle a 4-minute trailer. I'm like, what do you mean with this is bullshit?
You're like, what's that Simpsons when Moe's flash frying a buffalo and Homer's like. He's like, it's gonna take 3 minutes, and Homer's like, I want it now. but it's Peter Jackson's King Kong, where when they fall off the log, right, and they go into the pit, okay, at that point, dude, those deaths and that fight is like, I saw it, it stuck with me, it still sticks with me now. I crave that scene when I watch King Kong because the deaths in that situation and the direness and the loneliness and the bugs and like the fear and again like desperation in that scene is so well done.
You're talking about with the
slugs and they kill the Gollum guy. Gollum like they get his arm and they lock in their teeth. Okay, and if you ever read the History of Skull Island book that accompanied the movie, those worms are tapeworms from the bigger dinosaurs that had like died off. Which is crazy, right? But the thing is,
they almost did some things like that with the birds and stuff, but they didn't go for it.
They didn't go for it. Yeah, but like we've seen movies before that have meaningful death and powerful death, and in this. Literally in this movie, we have a guy with grenades running towards a giant thing that is a reject from a J.J. Abrams monster, right? Like it's
got 2 legs.
It's got 2 legs and a tail thing, okay? And it literally bats him 300 yards into a mountainside, and the dude just explodes, and you're like, okay. Like
it's
you're just
cooler,
like what?
But see, that's what I always think that there's a much better thing. I know it's cliche. All this shit's cliche, but like I think it's so much better that for him to maybe just jump in his mouth. Say he jumped in his mouth or something, right? Yeah. And then or he got eaten, and then it explodes. And then it's like, oh, we got him. Oh no, we didn't. Like I know that the oh no, we didn't is the oh shit moment of that. Oh no, it didn't actually happen. Like I know it's, but I like that. Like what's better? Like why are they smart? This was the thing I didn't like about this.
Oh, the creatures like
Kong was smart too. Like Kong knew immediately how to battle helicopters.
He knows how to use tools too. He knows how to use tools.
He took a tree and like stripped it down.
The
and
anchor at the end, and not only that, he uses the anchor as like a mace or like a pendulum.
Yeah.
But he also
and then he uses to cut.
Then he uses it as like brace knuckles.
Right.
And I'm just like why is he even on the island? He can make a boat. And just swim.
Right. He could
just swim. He could just make a raft.
I think the cosmetic of that Kong, like the thing I think is very interesting is that
he's upright and not gorilla like Peter Jackson's.
Well, I don't know.
Like he stays upright. He doesn't stay gorilla, which I thought was like it's a different thing. I don't know. Sorry, I cut you off there.
Ragtag team.
Ragtag.
All right, so here we go. Here's the plot. Dan Connor and Dr. Dre go into a bar. But so what? That is funny though. Why would Loki just tell everyone how they're gonna die? Like, what is he always on these missions? What the fuck are you talking about?
He's like this and that,
but I'll do it if you give me more money. And they're like, I'll give you a bonus if we come back alive. If we come back alive, you're a scientist. You know that this is dangerous. Like that's where Dr. Dre. You should know what's going on. Dr. Dre got smarter throughout the movie, which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah, it's not even that. It's not even like it's not even the premise to where like these guys have a hint. They're like, hey, we have a little bit of an idea.
Why did they add 20 scientists? What was that about? They had to have, because they had to have cool haircuts and mustaches.
Yeah,
they were so obsessed with that. Like, I thought that was weird when they were collecting everyone.
Yeah,
they were going out of rooms. They're like, look how 70s. They were like just in love with the production. Yeah, do you see the production line? Do you see there was actually a cart that went by that had like 9 green rotary phones on it, just going by. I was like, is that? What, they just had them in a closet, and they're like, they just like we bought these things,
just drilled them into a console.
We bought these things. We need to show them. Well, I also think like that was like that's the Titanic thing too. That's what Cameron was like. I got this original, like all the original plates. We remade these plates.
Yeah,
and then
these plates.
And then so then they can get destroyed in a scene. Like each plate costs $2,000. We made a plate to be exactly like they're just plates fucking falling in the middle of the movie. Like, why do I need that? Who gives a shit?
Here's a little bit of my contention with that, and I got this while I just been binge watching and rewatching X-Men Apocalypse.
How can you watch that more than once?
Because I try and understand what happened. Like what was the break? And I have a wonderful theory on the break of that movie. But here's the thing. You watch Apocalypse. Why didn't just call it Age of Apocalypse?
Because, well, just don't call everything Age of. Like, they call it Age of Ultron, nothing to do with Age of Ultron.
Right, but the Age of Apocalypse rolls off the tongue.
And also, Age of Ultron was like 2 days. There's no age going on.
No.
There's nothing
That was the problem with that. Do they have to burn him from the internet? That was the problem with that. When Vision says he burned him out of the internet, meaning that, like, you can't have that movie end with like some Pakistani computer and some kid sits down and the Ultron eyes come in on the 1970s computer.
That would have been great.
Like Zora does in Winter Soldier. Where he's in this facility.
But that happens doesn't that happen in that? That happens in Kree Skrull War, doesn't something like that?
Yes. And you know what too? Like I almost felt like they could have left that door open too for Apocalypse at the end of X-Men Apocalypse, where his consciousness is still in Xavier's mind since they trade minds, and there's that 3-way, or he's in Jean Grey's mind, and maybe that's why she goes Dark Phoenix. Like, they could have done so much with that. They could have done a lot. And that's why we rewatch movies, because we want to understand the nuances of the failures and not just criticize.
What do you do about the Weapon X scene in there that's just so weird and not the same? It's like, why do that? Or de-age him, for God's sakes. Like, make him look a little younger. When you stand in front of Jean Grey, it's creepy
you know what? Isn't it?
He's like, I'm your grandfather.
I'm going to bang you, little girl.
I'm like, I think I love you.
I like redheads. I had a dream of a redhead once, but no.
Ragtag group.
I think that whole thing is still Wolverine's, or I call him Wolverine, Hugh Jackman's apology for Origins, and not living up to that flashback scene in X2 where he's like emerging. Right. And then, I do think he's on this apology. And you know what? A lot of the Wolverine is all apology. It's outside of the Iron Man fight at the end, where he fights Iron Man.
Right.
Iron Man, Silver Samurai.
Yeah, he fights Iron Mongol.
Which tries to drill his marrow.
There's... I just think it's weird that there's no every X-Men movie.
It drills his marrow.
Every X-Men movie has no consequence for the next X-Men movie. Like, it's just it's so weird. Like, they're like, we're gonna do this. Like, that's why I was like, after Days of Future Past, I'm like, oh wow, okay, all right, they're pulling them all together. Like, it's pulling all together.
Yeah. And
then they're like, no, we're not doing that. Like, that's not. No.
So real quick, my contention with Age of with Apocalypse and Kong is that they're both, to me, failed period movies. You have no sense of the 80s in Apocalypse. Mm-hmm. Like, oddly no sense of the 80s. I mean, like, Jean Grey's running around in a blazer, like rolled-up sleeve blazer, and she just looks like she's from today. So it's either you're so jaded, or you don't know what the 80s felt like, or I think the filmmakers are doing a bad job, or... because everything is green screen or whatever, like, you know, and this movie felt a lot like that. Like, it didn't feel like when they're in the jungle, it could be any day of the week during in the jungle. Okay, so here's a little bit, and we have to talk about them real quick. We're talking about modern made period movies that are genre driven. Okay. Zack Snyder, Watchmen. That movie feels like a period movie. Feels like the 70s. Why? Why do you think? Well, let me just tell you. Because they used they had a dedication on large scale sets. They had more of a reliance on sets than green screen for that movie for the backgrounds. And I don't know. I don't know how much of these movies did that, but that's why, because at that point you can design it from head to toe. But I don't know. But anyway, so I thought this movie did not feel like the 70s outside of a couple songs and some clothing maybe, but not really the clothing, right?
Yeah, I don't know. It's the whole thing is they had to get there. It just seemed really well. It was like they picked and they kind of picked and choose what they wanted to do, because they had what was his name? They had the Spanish scientist with the bad mustache and the curly hair. So they had to have
another.
There were people super overt
death, right?
Yeah, they had everyone just either super overt and just stereotypical, and just to be in an outfit. He was there to be in an outfit, just to be comic relief,
and have a Jerry curl hairstyle.
Yeah, and we were just there for
mustache.
that. You know what I mean? And then Easy had to have that like a slight afro.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You had to have it just Al Pacino. You had that was Shea Wiggum as the guy's name.
Shea Wiggum.
Yeah, you wanted to be Al Pacino. But that's the thing that made me mad, because he was the only. And there's actually a scene that's actually online, and I find it fascinating because I was watching the clip today or a couple of days ago, where he has the grenades on him, but he also carries 2 guns. And then he had a story about the second gun, that he took the second gun from someone.
He took the second guy from a general I think he killed, and that it was the general's gun. So he uses the general's gun. He uses
the general's gun. But what was weird was in the shot where they talk about that, he's telling you about that.
Yeah.
They have a shot where he has the gun, and when they do the shot of the gun in his hand, he has all those grenades around them.
Yeah.
And they do the shot back, the medium shot between him and Dan Connor, John Goodman.
Yeah.
They're not on him.
Right.
So it's just these bloopers are just throughout the movie, terrible.
Yeah.
He just had his grenades on him, and even that
he
even
had
that
his
scene.
Grenades, or
where do you put them? Where were they? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then and it's just so weird. I feel bad for Koba or Dr. Doom. So Dr. Doom is in it. So Toby Kebbell's in it, and he just can't seem to get a role going.
Yeah, it's really weird.
I think he seems very talented. I haven't seen him in anything that I.
Yeah, and I think he has the look. He has the look.
And I thought it was going to be. He has the best line. In a way.
Tell me,
is that a monkey?
Oh, is that a monkey? Yeah.
I think that's the best line in the movie. Is that a monkey? He says it just completely so, it's not. It's the only line that's not forced.
Yeah.
Even the lines that John C. Reilly's character is completely. Steve Brule's completely fucking off the rails.
Yeah.
But it works.
It does work. Yeah.
And he has his best line
he's like,
we're all gonna die.
We're all gonna die. We're all gonna die.
He's like, we're all gonna die. He's like, you shouldn't have come here, and he's just laughing and he's just crazy.
Well, so here's the other weird thing: the natives did nothing with the natives.
That should have been a couple more scary scenes, because the first scene when you see 2 of them, really freaky and scary. They only did it once or twice. That's it.
Yeah,
you could have had them just being around, and you're like, shit, there's one. You know what I mean? It was really nuts.
But here's the thing: you run into a civilization that is actually looked a lot bigger, right? That was a whole big freaking town. That was
they had mechanics
and the wall.
Because remember, they had the little wall that
it's all of this stuff, and then at that point, once you find that, why are you in fear?
Yeah, they're alive. Yeah, they're there.
As soon as they did the aerial shot, I'm like, okay, they're just not surviving scavenger,
right?
It just seemed, I don't know, man. It just seemed like I get you have to have that because the other movies have that. Right, that's the only reason they were there. It's because that's a part of the Kong.
Well, here's the other question: is it
one of the Kong beats?
Where is So there's Tarzan. Those are books. Godzilla. Those were where is Kong from? Where is Kong from? Just a movie?
1933 RKO Pictures.
But that's it. There's no like it seems
no.
It seems like it has a mythology though. Yes, like it seems like they always came to push into that
because you know what it is. That movie is probably top 3 movies of all time, and it is like it is. That's exactly what it is. It's so good. It's so good. We gotta keep the beats.
Mm-hmm.
But the funny thing is though, if you're just throwing it into a Vietnam like period piece, which I think was like an amazingly ballsy, awesome choice. Okay. Well, let's just do other things. Right. You know, because they even went back to Kong. Kong never stood like a gorilla in King Kong 33. And here he's more true to King Kong than he was in Peter Jackson's King Kong. And like you know, like they had stuff like that. And you know what? Too, I buy that movie too as a period movie. Peter Jackson's King Kong.
Yeah, I think for the most part, I mean,
because you got a real sense of the depression in that movie.
Yeah, but I feel that like black throws you out.
Yeah, that's kind of like I'm okay with it. Like whatever. Yeah, like you know, there's a humming. Do you hear that?
Yeah, I hear that a little bit.
Let me just pause that real quick. Okay. And we're back. I can't hear us. Hello.
Yeah, I don't hear it now.
Hello.
I don't hear it now.
And we're back. Okay. All right. So whatever. Yeah. Little pause there. I will just cut that out. But yeah. So I don't know. Like, what? So I just wanted to talk a little bit of one other part of this.
Ragtag. The ragtag group
is I think the only thing Apocalypse Now in this movie was the silhouette sunshot that we saw in Force Awakens that we talked about earlier. Yeah. Like that's it. And the IMAX movie poster, which was do you know who did the artwork that they, pun intended, aped for the IMAX poster?
No.
So the guy's name is Bob Peak. Okay, Bob Peak, if you look him up on Wiki, okay, but his notable other contributions to the art of film posters is Rollerball, James Caan, one of my favorite movies, Excalibur, also one of my favorite movies, John Boorman, Superman, and My Fair Lady and Camelot. Okay, and you know this guy was like one of the most prolific movie poster artists, painters of all time. Okay, during a very competitive time where they did a lot of it back then.
Right.
But no one brought that up. Like no one talked about that, and I think it pays homage to Bob Peak, and I think that's important because you know we're about paying homage when we talk about things in Dream Warriors. We're not about money grubbing a-holes that steal credit from collaborators at Dream Warriors. We're not about that.
You don't try to goof me. Try to goof me in it.
Okay.
I'm not trying to do that. Okay.
So tell me more about Kong Skull Island.
Okay. So I guess I don't know. I do feel I felt taken to school. I'm not gonna do it.
Oh.
I felt taken to school a little bit. So they have the scene where Han Solo, Loki, walks around looking around with no consequence, just to have a scene walking around with Miss Marvel, with Captain Marvel.
Loki and Miss Marvel.
So Loki and Miss Marvel are just hanging out
in the Savage Land.
Right. So they're just like they're walking around, and this is before they even get there. They're just like they're in Da Nang or something like that, and they're in like
which is
warehouse.
Which is an Al Pacino booty sweat reference from Tropic Thunder, because in that movie when they're walking in the jungle, and he's like, what if I just whipped out a can of booty sweat and drank it while we were like walking through it, and Ben Stiller's like, no, that's ridiculous. That's not in the script. And then like they're doing the supposed scene, and he takes it out and he goes, I guess I'm just gonna have a little of my booty sweat that I picked up in Da Nang. And he takes it's like the funniest part. FYI, I love Tropic Thunder.
Yeah, you just bought it.
I love it.
Coming up next.
Yeah, it's coming up next on my Amazon Instant. Okay, so I'm sorry, Loki and Miss Marvel.
Yeah, so they're just talking about like
in the Savage Land.
Well, for whatever reason, he's talking about like he was a civil. He was like a U.S. Special Forces, and he got kicked out for some
weird exposition.
Yeah, and then she's like, "Well, I'm a war photographer." He's like, "I knew it." Like it was just like this weird thing.
Or actually, it's another jab. She goes, he goes, "You're a war photographer," and she goes, I'm an
anti-war
photographer.
Like,
as if anyone is ever for war.
Right.
No one's for war. Like, nobody. There's no president ever in the history. There's no soldier. There's no general. No, because you know why? These guys know what it is. They know. Nobody's for war.
No, I know.
But, okay, moving on.
To me, I don't know. I didn't buy her. I didn't buy him.
Dude,
the whole thing was just like...
I think she was the missed opportunity. Mm-hmm. She was the misfire. She was... Miss Marvel was the real disappointment in Kong Skull Island. I pinpointed it to that.
Well, there's just like... This is the first Kong portrayal where there's no pervy Kong. There's no like...
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't need it. Like, I mean,
he ain't a p-hound.
He ain't looking for the money. That's kind of the best, though. Like, that's to me, like, there's a great scene if you go on YouTube. I was looking at it today because I was watching. I just wanted to see the 70s one. I think it's interesting. This is
the 70s one is with 70s.
Jessica Lange, amazingly beautiful in that movie.
Okay, wait, hold up. What's that game? Kill, marry, fuck.
F, marry, kill. F, marry, kill.
Kill, F, marry, kill. All right.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, you got
last three girls.
You got Miss Marvel, Naomi Watts, Jessica Lange.
Oof.
Kill KMF. Who would you K? Who would you M? Who would you F?
Oh man! All right, let me think about this one.
I thought about this like something I got figured out.
All right, you go first. And I have a little bit. I have my first instinct, but you go first.
Kill Jessica Lange because she does not age well. I would definitely F Naomi Watts.
Really? See, Naomi Watts, like, we've actually seen pretty much.
I Heart Huckabees.
Probably
look at her dumper in I Heart Huckabees, man. When she's doing the commercial and she's bending over and Jude Law walks up to her. Yeah.
Yeah, but why I would probably marry her because she's pretty consistent.
I'm going to marry the youngest one.
Because you don't. It's just the unknown.
Because I'm playing the long ball.
I'm not even answering. I think I've already kind of answered. I'm not answering.
I'm playing the long. Oh, and by the way, if you could choose between getting credit for something that you worked on and not getting credit for something that you worked on, what would you choose? Just out of curiosity.
In reference to what? Has to be what project?
Just in life in general.
I guess get credit for something.
Ah, really? So you put in importance on getting credit for something.
Yeah.
Duly noted. Timeline 141, episode 22.
Why wouldn't I be credit for something? If I worked on something.
I got my pen here.
You have like this case. You have this case that you're building. This silent case that's not so silent because it's literally being recorded. Okay. All right. So let me go into. There it is.
That's the timestamp that I just wrote down on my.
So what? All right. So we have all these just cardboard characters being killed mindlessly.
Yeah, really bad.
Here's the part that I thought was just like the part that was just completely. Now I know the whole there's just not a whole lot of consistency, but the thing that I thought was very strange was they have to team up because Samuel Jackson, I get it, like he's mad about the war, so what does he want to do? He wants to kill a monkey because he's mad about the war. Yes, you got that a little bit of that, right?
Yeah, I thought we talked about this before. I thought his character should have been the one you were afraid of. Mm-hmm. You were not afraid of him at all. So by the end of the movie, you were not in fear of what he may do to Kong or the other people. Mm-hmm. And then when Loki and Miss Marvel save Kong, when Kong is, I guess, smoke.
He gets burned up a little bit, but lays down. And
then he does like a Godzilla.
He's just doing a power nap.
Where he just, like, Godzilla naps and Godzilla wakes up and just goes back into the ocean.
He's just doing a quick power nap.
Yeah, which was so weird. Like, that was weird because then, like, the big thing...
They got to finish up, like, the little talk. Like, we need to talk about this.
But then they stopped that, which is so freaking weird because they're still trying to save their lives. You're almost like we're just trying not to die. Can we not die today?
Right.
And they're like, we have to save Kong, and it's like you didn't believe it. You did not buy that.
Right.
Okay.
For what reason?
So
what are you doing?
The Skull Diggers. What have you called?
Well, that was the thing is they go to the end of this. They have like this big graveyard, and they have to go to the other side of the graveyard because that's where Dr. Doom is. So we have to go save Dr. Doom to save one guy. This is Saving Private Ryan. You're gonna have
Trank Doom.
Trank Doom. So we're gonna see Fantastic Doom. So they're right on the edge, and Steve Brule says, "Hold on a sec.
Yes.
We shouldn't. This is a big no-no. Don't go down there now."
Yes.
And then he's like, "Well, I've been here for 28 years. Why would you listen to me?" And then for whatever reason, Loki goes, "We can make it." Based on what? What the fuck are you talking about?
We can make it.
And they're like, "Okay, we'll listen." Who's listening to who? Who is in charge? Who's? And then one guy's like, "I'm going to go back." He's like, "Well, you can go back." He's like, "I won't. I'll go with you." Why didn't you just walk back to the raft? And then some guy's like, "I'm going to go back to the raft." Like, all right, go back to the raft. There was really no stakes anywhere. Yeah, anywhere.
Let's talk Peter Jackson real quick. All right, so Strider, right? Strider, Aragorn, in Lord of the Rings, right? Okay. You see him track. You see him track in that movie. Right. He's a tracker. Mm-hmm. He's a man that is connected to the woods. Mm-hmm. Not elf-ish, but he's connected to the woods.
Correct, yeah.
You see him track throughout those 3 movies. This guy, you don't do what you're there to do at all.
Why is he there? Who hired him?
Useless.
Why is he there?
He's, okay. The guy from Cloverfield Lane hires him because they're like, we need a Marvel-looking guy.
We need a Han Solo rogue guy.
We need someone that's noticeable, that's maybe in Marvel movies, that can be in this, and that can maybe help us in the trailers.
But if he's not charismatic enough, grab another Marvel person. Make it 2. How about 2 Marvel people? Let's fill it out.
Don't
forget Dr. Dre or Easy.
You know what they should have just did? They should have just threw in Black Panther and Winter Soldier guy, and made them John Goodman and the and the straight icon.
They should make I do think that they should make a Winter Soldier Falcon film of them just being like a road film where they just beat up each other.
They're kind of just punching each other and stuff. A little bit like Beavis and Butthead.
Right, I'm Cap's I'm his best friend. I hate you too. I think that would be a great movie, better than this.
No, I do think we will see something. Dude, we're kind of getting that with the Homecoming. That's the Spider-Man.
That's
Iron
every
Man team-up movie.
There was a rumor that I think Hawkeye is going to be in Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yes,
they're going to keep building everyone in it.
But
Thor is going to have the first 20 minutes going to have Doctor Strange in it on Earth, and then when they go to space,
dude,
then they're going to have. Well, even before they get to space, I think they're having a little prologue about Planet Hulk. I think they're doing a little bit about Hulk before they go to space. What? They're going to talk about something. That's what I read. Yeah, so
Thor 3, dude. All eyes on Thor 3, dude. That's going to be. I'm telling you. Look, you know what it is? I'll tell you. People, I don't care what people say. The Dark World is much when it's compared to some of the other ones. Yes, but compared to most movies, most number 2s, it's an upgraded adventure that you wanted in the first one. And it's not the same thing. It's a different adventure. It's just a different.
Right.
I don't know. I'm more for Dark World than I think a lot of people are. But then again, too, I'm an Iron Man 3 guy. I'm just off the rails today, man. Force Awakens is the only Star Wars movie. I'm comparing Matrix Revolutions to Return of the Jedi.
I can't wait for the Shane Black Predator movie taking place at Christmas with a little kid in it. Can't wait.
With Thomas, with the Punisher hunting the Predator.
And Key.
So
Keegan-Michael Key.
So that shot of them in the bus, did you buy any of that? Did you buy that as Who?
What was it?
Oh, they're all in the bus. All the guys I guess are going to hunt the Predator.
Oh no, I saw the shot, the weird, uncomfortable shot with Shane Black's hand on the little boy.
No,
they're all. The wall.
No, they did a male, these are the males in the movie shot that are hunting. I guess they're hunting the Predator. I guess maybe they're the Predator in Predator. Maybe I don't know.
Why is it one Predator? It seems.
Yeah, well, because they tried multiple. Where are
Predators.
you? Yeah, where are you with Predator?
I don't think I ever watched it.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm for that movie. I think it doesn't get enough praise. Doesn't get enough.
I'm not even finding this picture.
No, let me see if I can.
Shane Black
Just do Predator movie and do why is this? I have 0 internet now. Oh, my internet just cut out. I'll check my phone.
Oh, I see it. Bus. Shane Black shares in favor of potential.
Right, that's what I mean. Like, what's your takeaway from that?
Stop doing this. Stop doing this. What? They all look like
yeah,
like a bunch of homeless people on a bus.
So it's either that, like, right. I feel like they have knowledge of
You know what this is?
A crash site.
This is a ragtag group.
Yeah.
Every week is a different ragtag group.
Which one of the guy gets the double if they complete the mission?
It's gonna be Keegan-Michael Key is gonna have a funny line. His head's gonna get blown off.
I'm for Shane Black doing this movie though.
No.
I'm
tired of all these fucking movies. I could remember every week when we talk about movies. I'm just exhausted.
He's good.
You didn't take it. I don't know.
I think he's usually consistent.
I think everyone just needs to I feel like we need just new things. I need new concepts. I was looking the other day. The only movie I want to see Ghost in the Shell, but even that's pretty much an old concept.
Yeah.
Baby Driver is the only thing I think coming out until October or November. That's coming out. That's new. A new concept, brand new, and that's the Edgar Wright new movie. It's brand new.
Yeah.
It's a new concept, and that'll be curious because I want to see what he's gonna come up with. Brand new.
But
and actually, I read the synopsis. I don't even really want to see it. I don't even like the concept. But, I was like, you know what? It's new. But I mean, really, if we run it down, if I look at IMDb right now,
yeah,
it's exhausting.
Yeah, but do you think there's when people get new concepts, they kind of ignore it?
Well, I think Valerian's going to fail. I mean, see, here's the other thing too. Is
there's not enough out there.
And then what came out? Cure for Wellness came out, and that was supposed to be
went. I didn't realize.
Gone,
yeah,
and I'm a little mad that I didn't see it, but it's the same point. It's my fault. You know what I mean?
It is your fault, Mark. It is your fault.
I was too busy at home, mad about trailers, instead of going to see that. You know what I mean,
dude?
Furious. I'm just mad. Here I go.
Okay, so I did think of a rebuttal to your trailer stance. Okay, so we talked about negatives, right? What are the positives?
All right, so
what trailers?
I think I even wrote down things I actually like.
What trailers you feel like?
We have to finish Kong out. Hold on, I think I have.
Yeah, let's finish Kong and then we'll get to trailer talk 2.0 tonight.
What did I like? Oh, so let me just finish out what I didn't like. So I just thought that the every time you were in a world with them, you wherever you were in the scene you were in, there was no consistency of the action. Meaning that something would get thrown near them, or a rock would get smashed on this person's about to get eaten by something, and then Kong just throws a rock at its head, but there's no debris that would have killed the people that.
Right.
There was no collateral damage at all,
or there's no scale.
There's no
outside of the intro of Kong.
Yeah.
There's no scale outside of him knocking down the helicopter. And you know what, too? Even with him knocking out the helicopters, if there was one pull-away shot that you see him, how quick he is and how maneuvering, that he's, hitting one on the left and he hits one out just slightly out of range on the right. And it's, there's no even
you had one where you were
sense
in
of space.
And you were in there for 2 minutes. You were in the being
which
destroyed.
was kind of intense. Yeah,
I like that. That was good. That was a good.
That's where the music slowed down. The music slowed down with kind of the
right. It's muffled and there's no score.
I
do like that. I do think that's good. But to me, it's just I don't know exactly. I like. Maybe it's funny. I think Samuel L. Jackson actually started the inconsequential death with Deep Blue Sea. Remember, where he's giving a speech and he gets killed completely stupid. You're like, what?
Well, and
all this entire movie, no one got killed for any reason.
And in this movie, his speech feels weird and forced when he's doing the speech going into the island and through the storm. Mm-hmm. Which is, I'm like, all right, does he? I guess he gives a speech in every movie. I just kind of realized that.
Pretty much.
He does a pep talk. St. Jackson speech.
Well, that storm was,
what's in your wallet?
What's in your wallet? That was your takeaway from that. Dude, yeah. But every scene you saw, you've seen before. Like in every scene, every
Yes,
shot you saw, you pretty much
that.
seen before.
I got like flashbacks of there's one of the Resident Evil movies that literally was like scenes from all other science fiction movies, like even Alien Resurrection, like you know when they're going through the laboratory and seeing all the failed and the girl from Fifth Element's walking through a room and seeing all her failed experiments, and you're just like what do they do? Just write down things on postcards and just
that's what I think when they do the casting is like, okay, who do we got? You know, who's hot? That Eazy-E kid was great. Yeah. He's in this movie. You know what I mean? You know, he's great. Dr. Dre was also good. Put him in this too. And I'm like, what? No, that's the same. Like, it's just to me that's like really weird. Like, I still go down. I mean, it's the beginning of this year. The only thing I saw this year that I liked, I saw Patterson with Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren he drove a bus. And I thought that was the Jim Jarmusch movie. It was just like amazingly mundane.
Well, you saw him and Poe Dameron movie, right? Where they're singers and they're country singers on.
Oh yeah, Inside Llewellyn Davis.
Dude, that's such a good movie.
I saw that in the movies by myself.
A great movie.
That's a really good. And actually, that may have started the Dan Connor beard because because he plays a blind singer. Was he blind in that? With Charlie, not Charlie. I always say Charlie Hunnam, but it wasn't. It was the Tron guy, not the Tron guy.
The Tron. Oh, is it?
Yeah, the Tron guy is the driver.
I get the Tron guy and the Terminator Salvation guy mixed up all the time.
No, I always get the Tron guy and Charlie Hunnam. Charlie Hunnam for the King Arthur. That's another fucking trailer. Fuck that too.
So stupid.
King Arthur. What's it called? It's called something else.
I thought it was just called King Arthur.
No, they put another fucking subtitle on it because there's they probably have a.
I like Jude Law as like the evil kingdom.
Yeah, but the cuts I won't be able to do it.
Yeah.
His he loves cutting every 10 seconds.
I was done with that movie as soon as I saw a helicopter shot of the castle. Like a helicopter flying shot. I'm just like,
I just can't do it looks like he's wearing an Abercrombie and Fitch like jacket. You know what I mean? Like he's like, I'm on a horse with this jacket on. Like I just don't like it. He looks too like metrosexual, like hipster to be King Arthur. It's fucking nuts.
Just they always go back to King Arthur. And now this one is part fantasy, part realism. The latest one with Clive Owen,
what do they have in this?
By Anthony Fuqua was all realistic.
Yeah.
Look, you have a 1984 John Borman Excalibur movie
with Professor X in it.
With Professor X, Taken is in that. Sorry, Dallas is just doing laughs. Wow.
Liam Neeson's in that?
Yeah, Liam Neeson's in that. Taken's in
that. What's her name? Helen Mirren's in it?
No.
No? Isn't she?
No, Helen Mirren is not.
Dame Judi Dench is in it?
No.
I
thought it was just, But no, but either way.
So are you sure?
Just watch. I'm almost positive. But yeah, you can try and look that up. But yeah, so my other little details that I got kind of perturbed at, that I would excuse if the movie was a little bit better, is, and we're doing a lot of negative talk for a B movie, for a movie that we give like a B and a C plus, is I really dislike that they introduced a Samuel Jackson character while drinking a Budweiser.
He's like, I'm not good at life. I gotta get back in. It was like he's like a jail. He's like, I can't go out of jail. I gotta go back into jail.
Which is and I hate that they portray Vietnam soldiers during a wartime as like pothead partying savages. Okay, where that was very hard to do when you were there. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's very hard. Even when they're showing these guys like roughhousing and partying on the deck of the ship prior to taking flight to the to Skull Island. Mm-hmm. Even that, it's like I get it. Those ideas and those types of montages worked in other movies, but but you can kind of accept. Like everyone understands that Air Force pilots. No, they were naval pilots, right? Naval pilots is Top Gun. Okay, right. Yeah. Okay, we know that's not how they act. We know. Mm-hmm. Okay, but imagine if people took that as truth, and every time you saw a naval Air Force pilot in the movie, it was some abstraction, some connection of Top Gun. It would just be ridiculous. Right. It's the same to me when I see these soldiers drinking while on duty. It's just so freaking dumb to me. But anyway, what were some of your other issues?
I think the scale thing was really. was really like that was a lot for me. They didn't do anything with Brie Larson's character. They just didn't do anything with it. Like she wasn't. They had one scene where she like touched, like she touched and was almost compelling. It also made no sense. Why did they go to the top? They're like, we need to go up on that mountain. What was that for?
I didn't follow that. I guess that set up the face-to-face with Kong.
I know, but like what?
I don't even know.
There were just things that were like, we need to go over there, and I just thought that was like so funny.
Yeah.
The thing I thought was really interesting is that I guess they just kind of knew, even though you can tell me who shot this footage. So at the end of the movie, spoilers, not really, but like the end of the movie, some people get home. Okay, Steve Brule gets home, and he makes a comment that, like she probably didn't wait for me, and that's okay. I just want to see my son. He never saw his son. He knew his wife was pregnant when he got stuck on the island 38 years ago or something like that. Yeah. 28 years.
Right.
So he goes to the door, and someone is filming this with like a Super 8 camera or something, right?
Right, yes.
So that was weird. And then I also don't know who's filming it and how they're getting reaction shots, and then there's,
The reaction, whenever they do that, the reaction shots always... Like, take you out of it.
Yeah.
They take you...
So it would be cool if it was just kind of like, whatever, or someone like... I don't really know how you would have done it, but I think it was interesting. That was the only character that you kind of connected with and you wanted something. So that was like the seal of the deal end of the movie where you're kind of in it.
Right.
Like, I actually kind of dug that. Like, then you see him sitting down. He's okay drinking a Budweiser. Because what did he say? I just want a hot dog?
Yeah, I just want a hot dog.
A hot dog and a beer and watch the Cubs.
Yeah, and watch the Cubs, yeah.
So that's the ending, because he's on the couch, hot dog, beer, and Cubs in his house.
Yes.
So I do think that works. I think that kind of works. Then, I wish it ended there. Now, we knew that there was going to be a post-credit.
Yes.
So the post-credit is so out loud, because it literally goes to black. And here's the other part, too.
Not even subtle.
Well, here's the problem, is it says they have to do special thanks, and they have to say... These specific characters, they have to go.
Oh, yes.
Godzilla, King Ghidorah, Mothra, copyright Toho, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Like 20 seconds before it goes dark. So that the screen goes black, and then Loki has to talk to you. Yeah. Right? Like Nick Fury style, he's got to go, you're still here. Like Ferris Bueller, what are you doing sitting in the dark? And I'm like, fuck you. Just show me the Godzilla, please. Show me the money. Show me the Godzilla. So they're in a basically in a room. Yeah. Very much like Lost, because the Monarch Corporation's what is that? What was the Lost thing? It was the Dharma.
Yeah. Well, right? when those guys were suited up going to the island, you had the left side scientists, right side soldiers in that movie. Right. I'm like, it's Dharma. Yeah. It's not too far off. And I thought they were going to lead into some type of beachhead, in the Jurassic Park movies, when the second one when they go into a beachhead and they start corralling the animals in Lost World, and they build a beachhead, and it's somewhat of a scientific center, military. It's it's an operation just rolling. I always like that, and I'm like, oh, maybe they're going to do something but they're going to just fly in, because we know from the trailers it's just going to fly in. But no, nothing.
Yeah, and it's just so lazy. It's as lazy as the DC work, where they just they're like, here's a bunch of photos, and here's some photos of a cave wall with the Godzilla drawing on it. And I was like, really?
It's not even, dude. These are supposed to be prehistoric drawings, and they're straight up silhouettes of these characters. Yeah, and you're just
this is so bad.
I'm just I saw, but here's the quick side.
Dr. Dre shows up with the Korean girl, whoever who's inexplicably in it to sell foreign tickets, right? That's really no.
That's why I said that girl was in the movie that get it in China.
Yeah, that's
so here's the thing, okay? When they did the 3 rule, where they alluded to the giant skull digger thing, they said, oh, the big one, there's a big one.
There's a big one.
So at that point, were you thinking that the big one is just a bigger version of those?
Or I would like to look a little different.
I thought it was going to be a Godzilla creature.
Oh, okay.
I thought they were, they're Verdane or something. I thought these ones were going to be embryos almost.
Right.
And then almost like in Cloverfield, how they say the one that attacked New York was like a baby.
Yeah.
And then you're like, yo, fuck yeah! Bring it! But
that's almost more of a King Kong movie in a way. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's,
it is, yeah.
Because they go underground and they have the bugs and stuff. Like they kind of
dude, those parasites that is such an awesome
scary.
scene. And even the little shot. There's like a little shot of news footage in Cloverfield where you see the creature like shaking them off while roaming on the building, and you see them dropping and attacking soldiers.
Right.
And that's it. And then they establish what those were in the tunnel.
Right.
Dude,
T.J. Miller.
I don't know, man. Like that is to me, Cloverfield is so. Yeah, T.J. Miller just cracks me up.
He directed half the movie.
He's so funny, even in Transformers before he dies in Age of Extinction.
Right.
He just cracks me off. I just look at that dude. I start to pee myself.
Yeah. So I mean, I still give. I mean, that's why I just give a lot of the less. I enjoyed it in the theater. I just think that they could have done a lot more. Like you said, the X factor of it should have been Brie Larson. They should have done that. And it's funny. I'm on my IMDb, and the little banner that they have is her touching his face. On the beach, so I'm just like, you have it. You have enough. She has to wear the tank top. She has to wear that's the best look ever, right? That's pretty much like if you're gonna be in a jungle, you have to have like a white tank top on. Yeah, that's the best look. Really, like there's like whether you're Tomb Raider, whether
I think the both of them, because I think Loki too with that V-neck and like his chest popping out. Yeah, you're almost like, yo, dude, like.
Yeah, I think it was like look at how attractive we are. Even at the end, you're just like, do I make out with you? Do I make out with Kong? I'm not sure what I'm making out with.
And you know what the funny thing
is? Whoever's going to make out with Kong, I'd be fine with. I'm like, you want to make out with? I don't know. What are we doing?
Yeah, here's the funny thing. If they're going with military escorts, they're going under military jurisdiction, which is just the way it would work. Mm-hmm. Okay? So you're going under, like, military jurisdiction. At that point, you have to wear a uniform. You would not be able to go in, like, a tank top. But that's fine. Like, you know, like you kind of go with it at that point.
Right. But like, well, she's the tag along.
Yeah, but the two of them stood out so much for some reason.
And I kept calling him captain too because he was part of the like special forces, but he wasn't. Like he's like, I'm a big kicked out special forces.
Does he do anything to claim his throne in that movie? To like meet up to his character?
He doesn't do anything.
Right. Like he doesn't do it, and then she just stops taking pictures 20 minutes into the movie. Right, like the camera's destroyed, and someone kind of like.
Then they get the camera.
Right, they do.
She gets thrown into the lake, and then somehow he's like, "There's the camera." I'm like, "Get the fuck out!"
There's the camera.
I got it.
It's not even like a camera from today, which would kind of like we're talking with exposed film.
Yeah.
Like you shake those things sometimes, man. Like you
ain't
nothing.
There's nothing.
It's like that camera has like legitimate moving parts.
Yeah.
Like it's not like I don't know, man. Like
it's so funny. Like I mean, we love to love and hate these movies, though, man. We fucking live and die by love and hating them.
So okay. So let's just put this in perspective. When it comes to a 2-movie universe, like we're building. Now, the Marvel movies, we didn't know what was happening. But let's just say you have Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman. You have Godzilla, Kong, Skull Island. You have Iron Man 1, Iron Man 2. Like, where would you put, like, now putting Kong in perspective, where would you put, like...
I think, like, none of them are even close. I just think with the Marvel stuff, I know it was just a new model, and they were trying to figure out as they went along, but they knew, I just think because they already had, I would say that Stan Lee would be the real hero of all this. Just kidding. I would say because there was a framework of all these characters, and somehow in a lot of those early works,
yes,
they were thrown together, and somehow it worked. I don't know how. Like,
yeah.
Okay. I do think that there was a framework of that. Whereas I think, like, say in the 70s, they were like, it'd be crazy if we had like Frankenstein fight Godzilla. And they're like, all right,
yeah,
that works, like, because it's so weird and absurd. Or Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein, okay, because it's so weird and absurd and it works.
I really don't think that's it. I really think that the cinephile generation grew up running Hollywood.
But I think they're too empowered.
Like the geeks became the executives and the higher ups.
Yeah, but they're trying to please too many things. Well, that's the thing that's like ruining a lot of the new. Where does fan service end, and where does just making a crazy fucking movie begin?
Well, exactly, and that's my point, because like before it was like throwing shit to a wall and seeing what stuck, and these bean counters were like, what you got for me, kid? And it's like, hi, it's called Goonies. It's called Goonies. All right, let's just see how it does. Like, maybe we'll all make a buck. Right. Like, and you had that, and you had errors of now it's like everything's like meta and fan service.
Right. Like the movies that I think the people get to get the bigger movie are the better movies. Like if you go back, we were watching Godzilla earlier. I like Monsters. Monsters is really fun.
Yeah, I think Monsters is fantastic.
Right, but it's better than Godzilla.
I could not finish watching Dark Continent, the second one.
I didn't finish it. Yeah, I
couldn't finish watching that movie. What's with that movie? Great idea.
Yeah,
great idea for a follow-up.
But I think that's the thing, is that I think that your ingenuity of it.
I don't think Monsters is better than Godzilla though, but Monsters is fantastic though. I don't think it's better than Godzilla though.
It is.
Because we're talking about a movie that still has Godzilla in it. Like
for 11 minutes. You can go on YouTube and watch all the Godzilla scenes. It's 11 minutes long.
Do that too. That's still better than Monsters. 11-minute Godzilla cut is better than Monsters.
11-minute Godzilla cut. Maybe.
Look, there was so much character in the animation for Godzilla and Godzilla, just from what they did with him. And I hate to say it though, I got none of that with Kong. Like Skull Island.
Yeah, I don't know. There's
no emotion in that dude's face.
I don't know, but see, that's the thing.
Make the monkey emote.
Well, I tried to look up. We were talking about that. A lot of these other movies, they're so into telling you who's the mocap and what's the what.
Yeah,
and then today when I was looking through, I was like, what else was
weird,
Toby Kebbell? And they were saying Toby Kebbell / Kong. And I was like, was he Kong? Do we know? Why isn't there things? Even with Cumberbatch was Dormammu, and everyone kind of said that. They're like, oh, he is. He's Dormammu also.
Which I thought was awesome. Yeah,
right. That's cool. And then they changed his voice a little bit, just enough that it's he's a mirror version of that. So to go back to the original point is I think that they're so staged. Think about the Mummy coming out. You're like, no. I just feel like it's so like you said, it's like bean counter. Okay, we have to hit this. We have to the audience. We have to have a Chinese person, put it in China.
Well. Yeah.
I mean, Age of Ultron remember they had Amadeus Cho's mom in there.
Yes.
Just because it had to go to Korea or something like that, right?
Well,
she was Korean. So I was like, well.
But look, here's the thing though too. They're learning lessons. And look, and this is where things are contracting. Globally. Where you do that in Star Wars, the most sacred American franchise right now. And you do that in Star Wars, and at the end of the day, it flops. It flops in Asian markets because they have no connection to the source material. They don't even know what the hell a Rogue One is. They have no idea.
Right.
And the movie kind of fails for that reason. We just saw an awesome epic failure, and I was hoping it failed to defeat the idea of movies acting as social engineering. But The Great Wall fails, and I loved it. I'm sorry. It does look like an entertaining, hey, we're going to go with this type movie. Mm-hmm. I'm not knocking that at all. But the idea that, an Asian market comes into the U.S. to make, kind of an Asian movie, to kind of, get people to normalize relations with Asians, because, maybe a lot of the stuff that Trump says about, what their manipulation is with the American, inflation rate and currency and all these other things, and which a lot of that is, 100%, on point when he criticizes that. But the thing is, though, you kind of see it, and it becomes so, transparent.
Well, I didn't even think about this, but say the Great Wall, I know they keep doing the whitewashing and all that, and they were mad about Tilda Swinton.
It's weird because there's reverse whitewashing all the time.
Isn't the Great Wall the same thing though? Isn't by throwing Matt Damon in there, isn't that not who's mad about that? That's a Japanese production.
Yeah. So that's
the same thing going That's the same thing as me going why is that Korean girl and Kong? I don't know who's that girl. That's because I can go
100%. But the thing is though, now this is bringing people to school. This is the moral high horse that we're talking about. The moral high horse says you can be upset about that. You can be upset about Great Wall, Matt Damon. You can be upset about Tilda, what's her name, in
Tilda Swinton, Doctor Strange.
In Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
But we're not going to acknowledge that there was a black character cast over a Eastern European Marvel villain, which was Doctor Strange too.
Mm-hmm.
What's it?
Chiwetel Ejiofor?
Mordor or
Yeah, Carl.
Yeah. Like that's a reverse, right? You don't acknowledge that the same exact movie reverses the whitewashing and does whitewashing, but you only take one. The moral high
you're
ground.
Taking one of the two. Yeah,
the moral high ground will take one to prove its point and not acknowledge.
Right.
Okay?
And the other thing with the Doctor Strange thing, I thought was interesting is part of what was said too. When that came out, that was a Tibetan man, and it was a very racist portrayal.
Yes.
So they're like, we don't want to do that because it's not nice.
So who may have written that?
Might have been. It may have been my man. May have been the Stan Lee.
Racist
Stan Lee.
Racist Stan Lee. See, I'm
going
to go.
He puts everybody.
I'm going to go moral high ground now. High ground. I'm going to do exactly what they do.
I think racist Stan Lee created Black Panther.
I'm just
with
going
Jack
to.
Kirby as well.
I'm just going to pick one little thing now and just serve that as my only talking point. Which
your stand is that he's racist. How's he racist?
Because he portrays an Asian guy as an Asian.
How dare him? He didn't change that out. He's the first person he put Black Panther right.
But how does you know what's so funny? How even the character Black Panther even sticks around because it's so obvious what that was played. It's almost like if there was a Black Lives Matter in Marvel Comics, but they weren't Black Lives Matter, but they were maybe a superhero group called Black Lives Matter.
I'm trying to think about how that even
it's just so it's funny how back then it was just people were oh, who cares? It's pretty cool. We can just go with it, and now people will be oh, you're upsetting people. You can't do this.
Well, in the 70s, half those characters came out of blaxploitation. Luke Cage is a blaxploitation character because of Shaft and all that shit. You know what I mean? They put
it was a market.
Iron Fist was a market because it was kung fu,
and they put them together.
They're just okay.
Just it wasn't even how can we save the most time? Can we just put these two guys together?
We have two selling books. What do we do? Because Iron Fist, I don't even think was in his own book. I think he was in Marvel Premiere.
Marvel Premiere, yes.
And they were what are we going to do with this? And they're we can't do it. And you know what's crazy about that? That's Claremont and Byrne, and those are gorgeous books. Those books are friggin' gorgeous.
Yeah, that was the. I think a lot of that.
Even before X-Men.
I think a lot of that got reprinted, and I remember Marvel Age used to do. Mm-hmm. They either did a run of updated covers of Burns. I think he did a red costume one for Marvel Age.
Oh, okay.
But it was back then, but they put it out around the mid '80s. But dude, he drew what? Byrne is the best, right? Can we just say he is?
Oh, you talked about Jim Lee being a bad costume designer. Byrne. Great costume designer. You know what I mean?
I love. I followed this. I think John Bryne says on Tumblr.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Dude, the notes that guy wrote on his design sheets are stories. He'll be here's an idea for a character. 4 paragraphs later, the entire history, and it's please, and then it's please consider this. It's not even it's not even that they're doing it.
Yeah.
It's hey, I'm here in my jet fighter seat drawing table because he has a fighter pilot seat out of an airplane.
A very strange YouTube video of him where he did work that he wasn't happy with and he sold it to a guy. Do you know this?
No, tell me this.
He sold, and it's so weirdly staged and it's so uncomfortable. He drew a Green Goblin. That he's it's okay. He's I don't love it, but I know you wanted me to draw this, so I drew it. I hope you like it. And the guy's okay. He's I don't want you to be unhappy with your drawing. So, and he just paid him. And he's so I'll just destroy it. And he's what? And then he just rips it up in front of him.
Whoa.
It's so fucking weird. And I don't know what it's for or why. And he's okay, thank you. And they shook hands. And you could tell, he's kind of annoyed. He's yeah, even even though he may not have been happy with like his own work, admittedly, it was still a pretty awesome looking drawing.
Yeah,
and they had to rip it up, and I was like, "Why are we doing this?"
He used to do commissions of giant bristboard.
That's what it was. It was huge.
Like giant.
He only does them on those, I think.
They're so freaking like I guess maybe like some of it might be like I don't know if his eyes are going.
Right.
Okay, and he can't
draw. George Perez's eyes are literally going. George Perez's eyes are very literally.
So I don't know if that was like just something because like even his like 11x17 work doesn't like have the again like shape detail line work that it did
so
before.
You might have to draw 3 up. It's almost 3 up.
Yeah, but some of those dudes, they're phenomenal. They're and like I still think he's the best for commissions. Like in my opinion, the greatest comic book artist. He is also the greatest commission artist. Like at the same time, because even if you commission Jay Scott or even like Adam Hughes, and you would pay like through the nose for those two guys, it's like Byrne will give you a production ready piece.
Right.
He'll give you like a piece, and he'll give you a piece that's also designed for black and white to be hung up, or
colored. You see a lot of people that actually take it in color.
People color it, but the thing is that when he draws it, he said this when he draws it, like he'll use more black because it's not being printed. Essentially, it's not being published, but it will have more black in it to be a complete piece.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. I do get it. I do understand his plight and his frustration when it comes to the Image era and what that did and how those guys rolled through comics and it just seemed weird that he couldn't get along with that because they all cited him as inspiration, right?
Well, yeah, and I think that he also started a collaboration that artists had. He collaborated with Claremont for a long time.
Yeah.
And then he started to write his own stuff, just like him and Frank Miller started to do that.
So, did Byrne have the best run? Do you think he had the best run in comics?
I have
X-Men to Superman to
FF.
Yeah, to Fantastic Four, the Trial of Galactus, man. And then the Alpha Flight, and then Namor, She-Hulk.
I like his Namor a lot.
Yeah,
I like his Namor.
Dude, he made Namor into like a Bruce Wayne. How cool is that, dude?
Yeah, I like Namor.
Never be done again.
And Namor at the time, I remember looking at those drawings. I was like, "Why? How is this being done?" Because he used a Zipatone.
Yes.
And I was like, "Who? What is this?" I just remember he did Avengers West Coast.
Do you remember? Side note: do you remember his OMAC Prestige Format series that was all Zipatone?
Yeah, it was all 2-color. Or one. It was like a 1-color.
I think it was black. It was gray tone. It was black and white with gray tone Zipatones.
Yeah.
And have you ever used? Do you know what Zipatones are? Do you know what the process is for them? No. So it's basically like you have a hard piece of plastic, and then you have film on top of that. So it's see-through. Mm-hmm. Okay, and then you take a razor, and you cut.
Is it literal cuts?
Yeah, you cut the area, you pull off the sticky side, and you apply it. Okay, and that's
I should go fucking find some art of that.
Yeah,
get it. I think that's something I want to do. And just get some. I know you have some original art. You have
I got a lot. I got there's a stack here that I still have to frame. There's some of it sticking out right there.
So I think that's something that I think I want to do. But I want to do old production with lettering glued to it, stuff like that. I want to just get I like that stuff because now it's unfortunately fortunately. What they do now is pretty much there could be someone drawing pencils, scanning it, sending someone they digitally ink it, sending someone digitally color it, sending someone overlay letters, sending someone else to color it, sending someone, et cetera, et cetera.
I'm very much against digital inking. You can tell it looks so mechanical. There's no grip to the lines. And it's traditional inking is just becoming dead. I think it's weird inking over blue line. I think there's some guys have a process down where they nail it. Mm-hmm. I think whoever inked Greg Capullo and Batman. Who was that?
There's J.P. Galapian and Danny Miki did.
Yeah, I think it's Galapian. He did a lot of videos on that.
Okay. Yeah. Yep.
And but at the end of the day, there's more exceptions than I think it becoming an unsustainable process. I think a great argument for. I remember when they just had the digital process down. You go from pencils to color. And there was Thor Ryan, which is JR Marvel DC Amalgam, I think, 2.
Thor Ryan of the New Gods.
Like that. Thor Ryan of the New Gods. And at that same time, Rob Liefeld's Rejects came out for Awesome Comics. And he had he had almost like a letter at the end where he's like, look, like, this is why I decided to go with the pencils. Like, and because it was almost like his respect for inking. Mm-hmm. And he was almost like, hey, like, I'm doing this. That doesn't mean all of you a-holes have to do this now and fire your inkers. Like, inkers still have a role, okay? Right. And I just thought that. But real quick, though, like, so John Byrne, after Namor, She-Hulk, what was he do? He goes to X-Men? Dark Horse X-Men?
I think that's when... So when they had Image, they almost did like an old head Image, like a Dark Horse, where they called him Legend. Yeah.
What's the most notable to come out of that was Hellboy. Hellboy came out of Legends.
Hellboy came out of
because his first appearance, I think, is X-Men number 2 or 3 as a backup.
Yeah, it's all. No, he appears in it. He's actually in X-Men.
I forgot that. Okay.
Yeah, and the pages are half drawn, Byrne, half drawn, and he was so scared to write, he asked John Byrne to script the first series.
Yes,
was actually scripted by John Byrne. Yeah. And then John Byrne, and then when he was about to do the second one, he's like, I don't have time. Plus, you're better. You can do this. This is easy. Go ahead. And then he did.
That's all.
So,
yeah.
Wake the Devil was the second one. It was looser, but it was immediately better in a way.
Yeah, because the Byrne stuff too. Byrne would do like Claremont-esque word balloons.
Right. There
was some of that in that initial Hellboy.
Yeah, and that's fine. I mean, I think the first Hellboy series had a very specific, because Mignola was coming off of Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula, where he did like storyboards.
He was almost like the darling of the comic industry, where he was like not popular but great, crossover, and a part of a huge movie.
Yeah,
and then he might have been like the only one too who's artwork for the movie became a part of the artwork for the push of the movie in the geek world, meaning Topps trading cards and the Topps adaptation.
Yeah. That's gorgeous. Oh my god, that adaptation. I can't find. You know what I can't find? It's making me a little nuts. Is that there's a trade paperback of that, and that is just not. You can pretty much find the miniseries around. Yeah, but the trade paperback supposedly had. I've never seen it. I've never even seen it. And I can't find it on eBay or anywhere.
Really?
Yeah, it's a Bram Stoker's Dracula trade paperback of all 4 issues with extras and I don't know.
Wow,
I've never seen it. I can't find it on eBay anywhere.
Interesting. So that's cool. That's very cool. But yeah, so all right. So what does Byrne do after X-Men? What, like, between X-Men and Spider-Man Year One? What happens?
He did. What was his Danger Incorporated, which was his Fantastic Four.
That's dude.
Which is fine.
You know what it was? I think that came right around Alan Moore, 1964 for Image.
Yeah,
and they were almost like the same. Yeah. Like the same idea, the same type of take, the same spin.
Right.
Because the 1964 shit for Alan Moore.
Yeah. Well, that's all
largely forgotten.
And that's all Stanley homages, wouldn't you say? Wouldn't you say that would be all Stanley homages?
No, it's these guys.
It would be all the archetypes of the Marvel characters, that's created by Stanley.
They
that whole thing would have been
Jack Kirby's artwork and said, "This is if Jack Kirby
all those characters
had no Stan Lee. If Jack Kirby had no Stan Lee, that's 1964." Yeah, but
they're readable. That's why Jack Kirby stuff's readable, is because Stan Lee wrote it. You know what I mean? Like when you try to read some of the Kirby stuff by itself, it's really difficult to read.
I agree.
So you need someone to digest it.
I say they're both equally unreadable.
All right, so John Byrne.
They're both equally unreadable.
But that was the thing where you had something experimental. You had the 2112? You had the single graphic novel.
Yes.
That was that. It was like 2112.
Yeah, I don't know if that was graphic novel. That was just like
it was a prestige format, like one shot,
like big staple.
Set up.
Yeah.
Next Men, and then you read Next Men 1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
it was like 4 trades.
And Next Men was amazing artwork, amazing. That was his. What?
What's his X-Men?
Like his X-Men reboot.
Next to Men.
Yeah. I just do the distent, the hatred. I love it, dude.
Yeah.
I love him just sticking the finger, like Adam. And you know what? I'll tell you one thing. He did that. people are fine with it, right? Everyone's fine with it. Liefeld tries to do that to Marvel over like a legitimate legal dispute with Fighting American versus Captain America: Heroes Reborn, and he's just labeled an a-hole. So I'm telling you, double standard, hypocrisy. But moving on. All right, so post Dark. Okay, so that's where I'm a little clear.
Then he goes then he goes back to DC. He does Wonder Woman. And then he does some Demon. Yeah, but the thing with Demon,
where is he? I never read the Wonder Woman work.
It's okay. The problem is that here's the thing. And if you look at any of the, I read it. I don't think I've not read a John Byrne book.
Okay.
Like, I mean, I say these statements, and I'm like, I'm trying. Someone I was talking to recently, I said like, oh, like I've read Thor comics, and they're like, which ones? I'm like, yeah, I read every Thor comic, and they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, I've read every Thor comic, and they're just like, they can't wrap their mind around like, well, there's 1,000 Thor comics. I'm like, well, no, there's only this 100. There's probably 400 or 500.
Yeah, right. It's not.
And
it's never as much as
they think it is.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, you probably didn't read like the Thor core and stuff. I'm like, no, I read that too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's just not.
Thor core is the best. Wait. Did you ever do? Did you also do?
Was Thunderstrike beater right
Thunderstrike?
now? Like,
the
like,
jacket Thor is kicking ass with a ponytail.
But see, like, all right, you gotta understand that I'm almost 40, and I've read comic books since I was 5. You know what I mean? I started reading a comic book when it was a whole comic. That's what I started to read, was a whole comic book. You know what I mean? Like, it was around.
Dude, I remember doing that with Secret Wars 10, the Doctor Doom cover.
Yeah, okay.
Dude, that cover fucked me up.
That's,
like, I don't like cursing on here. Yeah, that cover where he's like...
It's all burning?
Well, yeah, and it's like... And then he's like bleeding, but they didn't color it. Right, and then, like, I would stare at it and be like, is that oil? Because I didn't know who Dr. Doom was. I'm like, is it oil or blood? I'm like, is it oil? And I just remember sitting down trying to read that, like, and like, having the slow revelation of that is not even in the comic. Like, it's not in the...
I guess, right, yeah.
It's not in the comic.
I barely remember Secret Wars, because, like, I never thought any of the Marvel crossovers like kind of worked. Like I liked Legends, and like even like the Invasion like worked. Like to me, like
Dude,
that the DC like crossovers kind of worked.
So do you know a little bit about that? What's his name? I think Eric Stevenson talks about this in one of his
speeches.
Not speeches. He did like an intro to one. It might have been like the Image 25-year anniversary edition. Okay, he did something for Image. Oh, might have been Image United. Did he like an afterwards for Image United 1?
Did that ever finish?
Yeah, but he talks about like how McFarlane drew 3 issues of Invasion that were 64-page formats or whatever.
Yeah, he did.
And then did like 2 issues for Marvel in 10 days. Like he talks about some ridiculous number that McFarlane cranked out. And I forget what his point was, but whenever I hear Invasion, I'm like, McFarlane drew that in 5 days.
Well, Invasion didn't look great, unfortunately.
Well, it was still like, dude, even at that point, it was still like McFarlane's style.
Fun,
yeah, but it was like McFarlane's style was like coming on more than like Batman Year 2. Like you would say, like it was more, but it was you could still see like the crumbling of the industry where they didn't know what to do with that type of line work and detail.
Well, what I think is really fun to look at
because I think Bob Wyack inked some of Invasion, and it's just a failure.
When you go back to, and I'm trying to think who, I might have been like Tony DiZuniga, like someone with a heavy brush inked his stuff in Infinity Incorporated. Yeah. However, you can't deny the layouts. You can't deny like just like the some of the stuff's just nuts. Like he's like especially like when they're on the phone, like or he's on the phone with someone and the hairs back to back or the strands and everything like that, like just nuts. So I think like when the McFarlane stuff. Well, you're right. Like, people really didn't know what to do with it. Like so. Well, it's an early auteur.
It's the same with when Liefeld came on board. I think if Portacio had issues, Silvestri. Right, I think Silvestri. I don't know if he's ever said this. I think Silvestri, especially when he was on X-Men, was inking the majors by himself, like hair, facial expressions.
Oh, okay.
Like anything that mattered in that panel or page. I'm almost positive he was inking, and then almost like it was like teaching. Yeah, it was like teaching. Like this is how we're like the looseness of the line work. This is the spontaneity I want you to try and recreate because I don't see like even Silvestri with his like it's so hard to describe his style. Because and it's weird when people compare him to Jim Lee because they have similar proportions, but the line work is like one's like a calculating surgeon, and then the other one is like an ADD kid on.
It's really it's a more pulled in action. Like it's more like just kind of loose. It's more loose, like number 2 pencil versus like a mechanical pencil.
Right. Yeah. And
Jim Lee's a mechanical pencil.
Yeah, and how do you ink? Like, how would you even like the heavy line? The what? Like, so who were the bigger inkers then?
We had
like Klaus Janson, maybe. Like, you expect Klaus Janson to come in and do some damage? Like,
no, I mean,
inkers had to learn. That's the point.
Well, I mean, I think even like Dan Green, I think almost hindered him for a long time. Hindered Silvestri until
who also became a hell of a penciler.
Who? Dan Green. You're talking about Dan Panosian.
No, I'm talking about Dan Green.
I don't know if Dan Green drew. You sure?
Yeah, Dan Green. He did work for 10th Muse. He did Image comic title. He did work for Baby Dolls, which was an Image comic book. Baby Dolls, girls in school, girl outfits.
It's not my wheelhouse.
I'm just imagining. I'm just imagining.
Who are you thinking about that? Let me look that up real fast.
Yeah, here.
I don't think you're right. I think I'm talking about.
Oh, it's a duel.
10th Muse, go.
Yeah. Hold up here. I got. Come on, hold up here.
Blue Water Productions,
Darren G. Davis.
Randy Green.
Oh, Randy Green.
Randy Green, not Dan Green.
Yeah, okay, I'm sorry.
Still the Green. All right, you're not in too much trouble.
Close. Yeah. Come on, man. You got. Hey, fine. It's not like I'm saying. Like it's not like
you're not it's not completely out of nowhere.
Yeah, and it's not like it's not like I'm saying like completely stealing the credit of other people's hard work and livelihoods is appropriate. It's not like I'm even saying that.
No, that's not what you're saying at all.
Okay, so real quick though, so Image happens. There's an education of inking. This cycles back to John Byrne. That's kind of like where this came from.
Right.
It cycles back to John Byrne because by the time he worked on Wonder Woman and was doing Demon, his line structure became reverse.
Well,
it became heavier, thicker, less tools.
Right, but see, he wanted complete power. So he lettered his own books.
Yeah.
But here's the thing with that is he didn't script it until he went to script it. So he would draw a page, and I feel like the gutter. So say it was cut like this down.
Yeah.
So you had four panels on the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4. The top would just be like 6 or 7 layers down. So it would just be this skinny little panel, and it would just be like, ugh. Like it would just be like a slog to read because you're like, you just drew this. And you just like filled in a bunch of shit, and then he went back to Marvel and kind of did the same thing. But I think when he went back to Marvel,
Hidden Years,
X-Men Hidden Years. I don't think he lettered himself. I think when he went back to, I think there was a contract when he went back to Marvel. I want to say that his Spider-Man stuff.
Spider-Man Year 1,
Spider-Man Chapter 1 and X-Men Hidden Years. I want to say he couldn't letter himself because I want to say that at the time. Starkings had a contract. I feel like everything was Richard Starkings.
Yeah.
It was
the comic fonts.
I feel that he was not able to, even if he wrote it, he's like, I want to script it. Like, you can't. I'm sorry, we already have a letterer. Like under because they formatted the books up and down all the way with the wrap up. The big opening pages and give you kind of the not a single page, but they gave you like a big.
Well, it was like a full out like recap character description.
Yeah, they do recap books
because they were like. So here's the thing. So this is so funny. Like I love the comic industry. So their whole idea was like we lost readership, and
every comic should be the first comic.
Well, or the people that stuck around, right? Mm-hmm. Like the people that really liked the material. Well. They don't have any idea what could be going on. So now let's spend extra effort. It's like those 100-page giants we were looking at last time you were here.
Right.
Those 100-page giants are like, don't you want to remember where this came from? And it's like, no, asshole, because I'm a comic fan.
I don't want to spend $3.99 on this book. I want to spend $1.99.
Yeah, and I'm someone that survived the purging of the 90s. I'm a hardcore guy. You don't have to tell me who Thor is or was. I kind of get it. I had it the whole time. I'm happy that the posers buying multiple issues of a Spectrum cover are out of my comic shop. I'm here to stay.
Some of those they had like standard editions. Remember they had the X-Men in 2 different editions, right around like the Andy Kubert issues.
Yes,
because they were like, you can buy it for $1.50 on shitty paper, or a good paper for $2 or $2.25.
Yeah,
like, huh?
I would look. It was a time of
trying to figure shit
expert.
out.
Yeah, they definitely were. I don't think they really figured it out until post Joe Quesada. Okay.
Yeah, but even that was a complete. That was a complete freelance hire. You know, when they basically hired Event Comics, who did Ash, to make Marvel comics,
right,
and print them on their own thing. Like that was completely printed at Ash.
Yeah,
like that was the whole thing. They were printed at Event Comics, like publisher. Like it was like a separate publisher. It was like completely like that.
Ash is a halfway decent book. 22 Brides, halfway decent for the time. Artwork for Ash. 22 Brides was like a band that they were banging. They were banging the lead singer, and they put the girls in.
Right.
Yeah, and it was called 22 Brides. Look, for what it was. For what it was,
they were rock stars. They were like rock star.
I think they wanted to be. Come on, they're two of the ugliest.
He married. That's true.
They're two of the ugliest guys you can.
Well, Jimmy married Amanda. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, what happened? What happened with her?
she's a comic book artist.
You got the old switcheroo with that one, man. She was young and hot, and now you're like, okay.
Okay, what is he going to do? He's still pretty successful. They're both very successful people.
Is he still writing?
I don't know what he. Yeah.
Because he was like their go-to like third party guy for a while. Like like he would be on like the sub books. And he was on like a lot of them, and he launched a couple titles.
He pretty much helped. What the strange thing is he's in charge of 2 of like the most powerful people in a way, because he was friendly with DiDio, and then he co-wrote Superboy with DiDio, something like that. He got DiDio a job, and now DiDio runs. and then he was partnered with Joe Quesada, who runs Marvel Comics. He was like best friends with both people. Which is really interesting, you know.
Which just means that these guys just use Jimmy to elevate them, because Jimmy probably talks them up and cranks them up in like
he's a good promoter,
and probably cranks them up, and then they're just like, hey, remember that thing you did for me?
It's pretty messy.
They stainly Jimmy Palomati, but in my mind that's horrific, and it makes my eyes want to bleed. In your mind, it's just standard operation.
Yeah, standard operating procedure.
Yeah, you're fine with that.
Totally fine.
Yeah, you're just no problem there.
Okay.
No problem for Mark.
So, what are we 4 hours yet?
We're at 2 hours and 40 minutes.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, we do kind of have to wrap it up because we are doing.
Continue.
Brian just texted me. He's on his way over to do episode 10 of Bad Eats, our YouTube show.
I actually have a page that I wrote. I can go through it kind of quickly because I know that for how long we've been doing.
2 hours 40 minutes.
So I'm critical for 2 hours and 40 minutes of the show, but I always try to cap it that I actually do like things. I actually do.
I know you do.
You know, and when I like things, I like love them.
I know
what I mean?
you
It's so strange.
Yeah, you.
I'm very hyperbolic about what I like.
So you want to. What do you want to do? You want to?
I always do 3 things.
I think
this is the other segment. So I do the trailer trash talk, and this is the things I like.
The things, Mark.
I actually like.
Can we open with this since it's so negative?
Yeah, but I feel like it's like an uplift. You know what I mean? It's like a positive ending. You know what I mean? So I feel like
people are just going to be like, oh, I was going to commit suicide after listening to Mark go off on the roof, but now I have seen.
I think they know it. I think they know what to expect.
Okay.
I think they know what to expect with what I want, and I don't think I'm that. Well, of course, I don't think I'm wrong. You know what I mean? It's me. So
there's no right or wrong when we're completely opinion based.
Right.
We're pundits.
Right.
There's no right or wrong, but can you have a more educated opinion? Yes. Does the more educated person hold the superior opinion? Sometimes. I'll say that.
Right.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
And that's an evil thing to say.
No, it's fine.
You can't say that.
Can't say that. Okay, so all right. So first off, I do love. I like sad alt rock music.
Okay,
you could say that. So like sad alt rock music. So
give me one.
How many seconds can I play before we have to pay someone?
Oh, it might be as little as 15.
All right, so I'll see if I can play something.
Doesn't matter.
I do like this.
Worst case scenario, we'll just like
right. I don't know.
I'll mute.
Right. course, I don't know if this even comes up. So anyway, this is a band. Oh, can you hear that? This is a band called Tennis, like the sport tennis.
Because and the reason why bands have weird names nowadays, and we're just gonna let that roll. Who cares?
Right.
Is because a lot of the good names and one word things are trademarked and copyrighted for bands.
Yeah.
So they do tennis and there will only be giants and things like that. Like or like they will. What's that one band? There will be giants or
They
like,
might be giants.
There might be giants or sneaker pimps and like whatever.
Right. Ooh,
like,
that's good.
Yeah, like that's where those names come from now. They combine words to like I'm trying like Velvet Velvet Underground, Revolver. Like I'm sure all the Velvets will be done by our children. Like by the time our children grow up,
More people will keep doing the Velvets. Like, every generation deserves a Velvet band.
Yeah, but Bullet for My Valentine. Like it goes on and on.
Right.
Like but anyway, so that's good.
Yeah, so I like that. There's a band. So that band's called Tennis. They're on Spotify, and they have a new album that came out this week called Yours Conditionally. And everything. It's just a little
have
tinged.
to check them out. Yeah, I might have to check them out.
They're playing 2 blocks from here on next Saturday. I want to go.
Oh, right. Underground?
Yeah, Underground Arts in Philly. Great, awesome venue. So I'm gonna go see that. But yeah, they have.
What are you doing
just very?
For that? You coming here to party before you go?
I don't know. I usually just go
because I live right there.
How about 1 ticket? Oh, that's the new thing I'm doing. I'm buying concert tickets, but now I always buy 2, and then last minute I'm like, hey, you want to come? Because I had a date, but they canceled or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I buy one ticket now.
Yeah, good, fine. Good.
And go with myself.
Well, come here and hang out before you go. Come here when you're done.
Well, I'm seeing them. So they've had 3 or 4 albums. All of them are great. They're sad alt rock. So great job. I'm really really happy. But that one's called what's that one called? Please don't ruin. I like the title list. Please don't ruin this for me. Great title, of course. Okay. And I love their album title. It's called Yours Conditionally, which is great. This week's CW, I've already talked about Riverdale a few times, but this week, this was episode 7 of the first season. They renewed it for season 2.
You're very excited.
I love Riverdale.
Show. Yeah,
I think it's fantastic. Like I think it's great.
Well,
because
I'm happy it has a.
I have one thing that I like. Yeah, you're happy that I have one thing I like. But the thing I like about it,
I'm proud of you.
I'm so proud
of you, kiddo.
Well, they're just unabashedly. I think this goes back to every episode we record. We talk about what is it on right now still. So as we talk about this, we talk about Speed Racer.
Always talk about Speed Racer
because I think that the commitment of the idea and the
follow through
and the forthrightness and the earnestness of all of like the ridiculousness.
Yeah, they explained it and like whatever, it's explained. It doesn't matter like what.
There's Jughead Jones. His name's Jughead. Like they didn't really go exactly into why yet, but they talk that you
I'm
go
sure
a little bit around
he's going to have an origin.
There's a reason. No, there's
episode,
like these characters have been around for 50-some years. There's all these reasons, but Jughead's dad was in this episode with Skeet Ulrich played, and he's like a drunk.
Skeet Ulrich is Jughead's dad?
Everyone's dad is someone from the 90s.
Cotton Weary?
yes. Like
Cotton Weary is Jughead's...
Yeah.
Wait,
isn't Cotton Liev Schreiber? Or no?
No. Oh, yeah. Oh, he is. But wait, did they... No. Did they do the old... No. Did they do the switcheroo? No. Wait, Cotton Weary is Liev Schreiber.
Mm.
But he wasn't the killer.
But everyone thought he was killed. But he was convicted?
Yes. No. The mother lied. The mother lied because she was having an affair with Cotton, and then she made up like a rape. Oh, we need a scream-a-thon. We got to figure out the scream. We got to figure out the scream chronology.
Well, like, his name is like F.P. Jones, which is like Forsyth Pendleton Jones.
Okay.
And they call him F.P. in the comics, so like he's in the show, his name's F.P. And then they have a whole backstory with Archie's dad. And like Archie's dad is Luke Perry, and he's freaking great.
That's so
like
cool.
Fred,
that's so perfect.
And it's a very Twin Peaks because this whole thing is
solving murder.
Yeah, it's like who killed Laura Palmer, but this is who killed Jason Blossom, which is Cheryl Blossom's twin brother.
That's cool.
But Cheryl Blossom's twin brother, not spoilers. Well, I won't spoil it, but because I want people to discover this. But it did get it's doing well. Like it's doing okay here. But Canada, it's doing great, and overseas, it's on streaming overseas.
Yeah.
So it got approved. But this episode specifically, episode 7, you can go online and look this up. Just look up like Riverdale retro costumes. So the beginning of this episode, Jughead has a dream sequence, and everyone's in 1950s outfits, and they're wearing what they wore really like garish, like bright colors, and he's wearing that big S. Which cool. And he's got the old hat on, like looks like a paper hat. I was like, this is crazy. And then it's just so, and he knows something's wrong. He's like, this isn't right. and everyone's acting like very overt. And it's Thanksgiving dinner, and it's just so strange. It looks like very like day glow colors, and it looks like a Stan. It looks like a Stan Goldberg.
I said before I saw stills of that. It looks like it's a Joel Schumacher movie.
And then it ends really really back to darkness. You know,
nice.
So it's all tinged really well. And,
okay.
And I guess the other thing too that I'm getting like super. I think the reason I'm impatient on all these other things that I'm watching in 2 hours. Is The Flash this week was also fantastic, and it's like 2 away from the mid-season finale.
Okay.
But I don't know if they turned up, like, I don't know what they did this episode. I don't know if they turned up, like, the strings or something. Whatever they were doing with the score. I felt like every like, right before like, I was going to cry, like, every 5 minutes. I was like, oh my God, this is happening. What's going to happen?
Wow.
They're jumping in the future. They're running back and forth.
Yeah.
You got Jesse Quick, you're on Earth 1, you're on Earth 2.
Okay. So, I
love it.
I get it. Like, who can we contribute for that? Mark Wade's the one that created the
Speed Force, but yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
so look, can we just? I get it.
There's some Jeff Johnson.
I get it.
As much as
like
you don't want it to be,
but I get it. Like I get what that power. I get it. But come on, like
season 3
like
I've spent.
You're running through time.
Yeah.
Just.
All of it works. I'm telling you, the people that love it love it.
I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm not saying it's not entertaining. But I'm just saying, like
I'm never gonna commit.
It's the guy running through time.
Yeah, but there's something that happens in the future. He's doing whatever he can to stop it, and it may not make a difference. And it's interesting. And he's ruining things because he can't stop this thing that might be happening. It should. A lot of it shouldn't work. Supergirl shouldn't work too. That's another one. That's my 3.5.
What? Supergirl's your 3.5?
Supergirl shouldn't work. But Supergirl season 2 completely works.
I'm surprised. Oh. Well,
I don't know. So I would say, like, whatever great, like, this is the thing is, I don't think that when they put whatever if that Flash movie ever comes out, I'm not going to like it as much as I like Barry Allen on TV. It's just going to be the case.
Over or under? Which of the 2 movies gets on track first, Batman or Flash?
I don't know. I mean, it's like I don't. The only thing I would say is that Ben Affleck is too expensive to reschedule some of his schedule. He has to have some schedule laid out, I guess, for next couple of years. Yes.
Yeah. Or
his career.
Or how about this? All right.
Ezra Miller can move around because guess what?
Yeah.
Ezra Miller gives a shit. So if someone's like, we need to replace you, Ezra Miller's like, I guess I need to wait for this thing. I think it's going to break me completely and like make me. And Ben Affleck's, I don't know. I can do whatever the fuck I want.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But why like I know. Fuck. I know we always mess around with this Batman shit, but like, how is that in trouble? What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's.
Do you think his brain is broken that Live by Night didn't work? And that every time he went to promote that, people were like, "Hey, you're Batman, right?" Like, can you imagine how frustrating that is as like an artist?
No.
He's like, I just poured my heart and soul into this movie. I wrote and directed. I'm promoting it, and you can't fucking ask me the questions about the movie.
It turned out not to be a good movie, right?
Yeah, but he made it. Doesn't matter if it's not good. He made it. I respect him.
I know, but at the end of the day, guess what?
You're Batman.
Yeah, I mean, like. Then guess what? If you honestly do not think that's ever going to happen, if you do not think that's ever, do not take the role. Right. Do not take the role.
I think he was overzealous. Like, I think the thing is because he can write, because he can direct. They were like, "You're the catch-all. You're everything. Here's a ton of fucking."
Well, I think post Argo, right? He got the throne.
Yeah,
he got the throne for a studio failing to find like a creative figurehead for one of its departments. Mm-hmm. So they had Schneider, and you got Schneider. You trust him. Schneider comes in on time, on budget, makes movies, beautiful looking movies. But you have a maybe someone that can be better than Schneider, possibly. Right, like that was like the whole idea. I don't think people would have been surprised, but now it's like, what did they do? They greenlit a Nightwing movie too. Yeah, and then they have Gotham Sirens.
Yeah, but Gotham City Sirens makes sense because you can make that movie and appease the Harley Quinn people. You can throw Poison Ivy in there. Yeah, it's gonna work.
You can throw in Batgirl. You can throw in whatever. It just seems again like it's the Dark Knight extended film universe, right? And why don't they just do that? They already killed Superman. He don't need to come back. Like you can, I don't know. I think I think part of what got to Ben Affleck though is the weight of the production of a movie like that. It's different when you're kind of stepping in and you still have a director and you still have like producers that you that aren't connected to you. Like you have a separate apparatus. Like maybe he got spooked. No one's saying that. Right. Maybe he got the weight of, dude, Quentin Tarantino even said it. He said, I will never do a comic book movie because I will not appease the maniacs. The maniacs are out there. And you have like maybe fight the
us. The art me.
Yeah,
furious about a 2-minute clip.
The orator of our generation has said he will not move into a genre because of the fan base. Okay, and they gave him back. What did they do? They completely destroyed and ripped apart Hateful Eight, which was one of the best movies of that year.
Right.
Completely ripped that movie apart because over like some comments he made or some comments about women or some crap or whatever.
They just like to.
They ripped them apart. They cannibals.
Right.
Because it's the silent minority today. That's where we are. Tell me about that third thing.
No, that was it.
That was it. Oh.
Yeah, was that 3? Yeah, I did. It was all CW love. It was Tennis, Riverdale, Flash, and 3.5 was Supergirl.
You put Flash on there.
Yep.
Yeah, I should. You and Norm should just do a freaking. I'm on the blow Flash episode.
I don't know. I mean, look, there's got to be something to it. Season 3, the ratings are better than ever.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you about one of my favorite things. All right. If you go to RedTube, and if you search Tushy. Tushy.
Is RedTube a porno site?
Yes.
I thought you meant YouTube. You're like RedTube. I'm like,
you search Tushy.
Oh, okay.
And holy crap, that is some of the hottest stuff.
What are we talking? What? How is this?
I'm telling you, you're talking about some of your favorite things. I'm telling you about some of mine.
I didn't get the thread. Okay. I missed the beginning.
No, this is a
very
very easy thread. Okay.
Okay.
Those movies are some of the hottest things ever.
Okay.
I love them to death. And you get them in like
so
some of them are 10, 15 minutes long. They're just incredible. Okay.
They're movies?
Well, they're like, they're 10-minute clips of like, I guess, like longer cuts. But they do enough. They do enough in there. Right now, I am reading The Fountainhead by Ayn Rand. I'm loving that.
In one day, you read it. One day.
No, that's that.
I know that's a different thing you're trying to do.
Yeah, well, a book a day is really biographies, like anything outside of fiction, essentially. Mm-hmm. Fountainhead is fiction, so it's a bigger read. Reading that, loving that. So a lot of my perspective and all that stuff can be traced to Ayn Rand and Atlas Shrugged. You really have to like anyone to read those books. But yeah, that's me. But all right, so let's sign off. We're just about to the 3-hour mark. This is our 4th episode together.
Yeah, this is our 420.
4 hours, 4 hours, like 2.5 was the last
short one. Yeah.
And then we're back at 3.
That's good. This is a good one.
Yeah.
I think we have some. So here's the through lines. I have trouble with the trailers. Your through line is being taken to school. I'm sick of it. I think we have like a very we're starting to get these little themes. Well, they're continuing. Yeah. It's interesting.
Even in Kong, when he comes out of the car and he says, I can't imagine Washington getting any more worse. How did that line end up in the movie?
Yeah, that's the first line of the movie.
How did that end up in the... Dude, that's like post-election stupid crap to begin with. Stupid. Yeah. You have an openly gay actor, right? Making a comment against a standing president that is the first standing president to go into office for gay marriage.
Who's gay? What are we talking about?
John Goodman.
Is he gay?
I'm pretty sure he's gay.
I don't know if that's something that you just made up.
No, John Goodman's gay.
I don't know if that's true. Is that true?
Look that up. I'm almost positive John Goodman's gay.
What do you think about I know we're like going back into an episode. What do you think about the LeFou thing? The Disney thing?
I really don't care.
But
I really don't care.
Here's the thing. I think like my people like certain people are going to have trouble with that. A certain, like,
it's hard to predict where.
But I heard in the movie,
going to go.
I heard in the movie it's this exactly the same, just like the old cartoon, which he's pretty much banned the old cartoon. But then when they're all dancing together, he apparently dances with a guy and dances off screen.
Yeah,
that's
okay.
It's like 2 seconds long.
It's fine. Like
but they're making a big thing
I think there's controversy. Norm was saying that Alien Covenant has a gay couple that go to colonize the planet, and it's like, okay, I guess you look. You want to seem progressive, you can have that stuff in the movie. Whatever, I get it. Sometimes when it's like I said, when it's bringing it to school type atmosphere. Look, I'm telling you. If it's in that movie because they want to make a point and the movie fails, it's going to get blamed for it. If it succeeds, like no one's going to reference it.
Jack Wood's married. I don't know what you're talking about.
Are you sure he's married?
Yeah.
I thought he was queer. Really?
Annabeth Hartzog.
Huh. Interesting.
I don't know. There we got it. No, then this one thing says he is. I don't know. It says married, wife, gay, and divorced.
There you go.
He's everything.
There you go. Yeah, we could just say openly gay actor.
He's doing great.
But anyway, he makes a comment like that against the first standing president to be for gay marriage going into office. Obama wasn't even pro-gay marriage. He was anti-gay marriage until his second term. Well, he's the first. And that's why the hypocrisy just kills me. But okay, so let's get the red tube.
Dan Connor.
Dan Connor. Let's go to RedTube. Let's search Tushy. Also search property management. That's another good one.
Property management.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I gotta go.
Those are your 2 favorite things?
Yeah. I gotta eat. We're doing 10 pizzas, 10 Mama Celeste pizzas tonight.
Good eats, but it's actually usually
it's bad eats.
Bad eats.
It's bad. It's
the opposite. So it's like you're gonna make it all. You know that, and it's all bad eats.
We know it's bad, yeah.
You know it is.
We know it. I do like Mama Celeste pizzas though. They're good.
So you got 10. You're gonna bake half.
Yeah.
Microwave
half. The microwave one's gonna be so freaking bad.
It's cardboard.
Yeah. But with those foil. The foil plates, the foil plates, they're supposed to magnify the microwave. It's like, what is this? What technology is this? Like, what is? You can put.
I think at one point you're like, "This is a good idea." Someone was like, "This is a good idea."
I think it's in there. It's got to be in there as a gag because, like, what could you put on top of that to cook it?
Right.
Like, what could you put on top of that? Look. Like, it just makes no sense.
I don't know.
There's nothing there's nothing you can put on that to make it crispy. There's nothing.
Right.
It's good. Okay.
But if you don't have, it's all about time. It's like, I don't have time. I need my pizza now. Like I can't wait another 6 minutes.
We can flash fry a buffalo in 3 minutes. But I want it now. All right. Hey, awesome time, dude. Awesome hangout session. Yeah, I think we got another good one. I'm going to try and push this out right away, only because of my frequency in the next 2 to 3 days. I'm going to have less time to do something like this. So this might go live later tonight.
Doing it live.
Yeah.
I'll write it and do it live.
Oh no. Well, we will graduate to live broadcasting. Google Hangouts they've done an update. I gotta research what that update is. It'd probably be a Google Hangout, recorded Google Hangout, done here with cameras, multiple. So that's another factor. I gotta figure out the multiple cameras.
Right.
There's one I want maybe overhead, so when we can lay things out. Like there's like logistics and technology type things I gotta like figure out.
Okay.
But we will graduate, or
on the Google
we're going to do it around the couch and do like almost like a talk show type thing.
Right.
And
what did we do that one time? Do we still have audio on that? The FF movie, right?
We have
a prototype.
We have multiple. Those will be released, but the sound files are archaic now compared to like what this comes out. But I'm fine doing. Once we get the ball rolling with doing new ones, I will release the originals. Okay, like so we just maintain like we have Theodore Rex that we did the Whoopi Goldberg dinosaur movie from the 90s. Theodore Rex. Yeah. But no, we will keep it going. Dude, I just gotta say, like, quick little pat on our backs is I'm really into the John Bryne love. That was great,
Yeah, that was
dude.
a good one.
That was great. That guy, man, you're a maniac.
I have it. I don't think you have it. You need to get the FF Omnibus.
Oh,
John Bryne. It's beautiful because everything's recolored and it's crisp. Like, it's beautiful.
I hate that they recolor stuff.
No, it's like so it's good.
Yeah,
like it's not.
Who's
it's not heavy.
The Tom Smith is usually the guy that recolors those.
On this, I think they just flattened everything. I think I think that they just took it was like I might have been like Glynis Oliver or something like that.
Yeah,
like it was whoever the original colors was, and they, instead of just having the dots, they just like.
Oh, just flat. Oh, I see what you mean by flattening it. Okay,
it's not 100%. Not like I thought the Tom Smith stuff sometimes was touching it too much.
Dude, I hate the color. I hate coloring the line art, like the actual like the color hold for the lines.
Right.
I hate that.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it when it was like new. They like it was once in a while.
Yeah,
like
they mess it up, but it was kind
like
of
Smoke
cool
would have it. Like a plasma blaze out of some dude's hand would have it,
right.
but. Dude, man, like it's not.
Just let it go.
Like, don't even like. It's not even the inker or the penciler anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they. It's a war. It's inker versus colorist. Like when I see a lot of new stuff, and the colorist wins, and
right.
I'm like, the colorist it should mean nothing unless you're Michael Turner, and there's no Michael Turner right now. Colorist means nothing.
Well, not for a while.
Yeah, maybe Steve McNevin. Niven.
He's got a colorist that works hand. He's had the same colorist.
A good collab, right? He's got like since
like whatever. What was that line he did way back?
Oh, cross gen.
Yeah,
Meridian. No.
Fuck,
what did he draw for cross gen?
Meridian was Joshua something.
That created X-23, right? Josh Middleton.
Yeah.
New York. I talked to Norm about this. NYX issue 3 X-23.
Well, how much that is now?
That's got to be a $200-$300 comic. I'm talking like a 9-10 grade.
Right.
$200-$300.
We should probably
end. Yeah. Okay. We're going. Goodbye. Enjoy yourselves.
Right,
you got some
soon.
Red Tube suggestions there. Everyone get to it. Let's rock and roll.
Do our favorite things.
Talk to you. Okay. All right. Bye.